You're about to watch another exciting episode of the Dungeon Run, but did you know that you can actually be part of the adventure? Tune in live on Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific time, and you can make your voice heard and help determine the fate of our adventurers. Hope to see you there.
Greetings and welcome to The Dungeon Run, a live tabletop role-playing game where your interactions help tell the tale. I am Lord Ereban, the Keeper of Secrets, and I have brought these adventurers together and set them on an epic quest to decide the fate of the world. When they found my amulet, it gave them the key to unlock the mysteries of Ain and allowed them to communicate with you, the Watchers of the Time Stream. Now you have the power to help or hinder them as you see fit. If this is your first episode, fear not. Our Dungeon Master will catch you up on everything you need to know to jump right in. And you can always watch past episodes by visiting our YouTube or listen to the audio version by searching for The Dungeon Run wherever you get fine podcasts. The Dungeon Run is made possible through the generous support of our patrons. Bonus shows, special content, and more is available when you become a supporter at patreon.com/thedungeonrun. And join the incredible Dungeon Run community by visiting the official, unofficial Discord at thedungeon.run/discord. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does make a difference. But now, sit back, relax, enter the world of Ain, and let the dice roll!
That checks out.
There we are!
That's the energy for this.
Oh my god!
Hi, everybody! Oh my goodness! Welcome to the Dungeon Run. It's Wednesday night. We're here for episode 1 of Fortune and Fate.
Woo!
It's here! It's happening! Oh my goodness. Hi, everybody. We have so much to get to. We have so many adventures in charge. But first, I just want to start off. If this is your first time watching the Dungeon Run, this is our show. Welcome. And we have some new people here tonight, so I'm going to start with them. Gabe, why don't you tell people who you are?
Hello, I am Gabe James Games, Gabe Hicks across the internet. I said that backwards, but that's fine. I am a GM, cosplayer, storyteller, game designer. I worked on the Dark Souls tabletop game from Steamforged. I was DM of Dimension 20's Shriek Week. I am creative producer at Roll20. What else have I done? Nope,
so
that's
many
on
impressive
DA.
things.
I've done a couple other things.
That was a low-key brag.
And also, I am going to be your storyteller, and I am going to be the one that helps facilitate the doom, gloom, and potential glory of these great people. And I hope all of you will help me help me make their lives
What?
magnificent. I picked a different M word.
Interesting. All right. Well,
Wasn't going to say miserable.
right. Magnificent, miserable.
Yes.
And joining us on this adventure, we've talked about this rotating cast that we have, but joining us this week and hopefully in future episodes as well, assuming Gabe doesn't kill all of us.
Hey, there's worse things than death, Morgan.
Very true.
That's what I've been saying.
But we're so excited that Kelly Lynn D'Angelo is here with us. Kelly, please tell people who you are.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kelly Lynn D'Angelo. You might know me on Twitter as Kelly Lynn Dang, or you might not. I creep my way into different areas of your life because I do many things. I am the Dungeon Master for Girl Scouts Glory and for ND&D, an all-native group of players.
Wow.
I wrote for Candlekeep Mysteries. I had one of the adventures in that book, which I'm really proud of. Oh, gosh, what else? I'm a television and film writer and a musical writer. I write for preschool and adult things, and I write for a lot of stuff. I just write, you guys. I just write a lot. So I'm so excited to not be writing and instead to be wronging and dying in Gabe's game today, likely. I'm stoked to be here, you guys. Thanks for having me.
Perfect. Amazing. And last but not least in any way, Ms. Persephone Valentine is joining us, and we are so thrilled. Tell people about yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Persephone Valentine, aka Persephorath, on basically every platform on, which is mainly Twitter, Twitch, and other things. I'm probably best known for being a cast member for Dimension 20 as a 7. I'm the DM of Fast Times at D&D High. I also recently joined the cast of Shakar with Gabe, a game that Gabe's been in it. I'm new. He is not. So I do a lot of things on the internet. I do a lot of video game streaming and stuff like that. And I am jazzed to be here. I really am.
We are jazzed to have you. It's jazz all over the place.
We're getting a lot of love in chat for everybody who's been introduced. A lot of love.
We're so excited. And so, I mean, if this is your first time, we are the Dungeon Run. We run every Wednesday night. We've been running a Heroes of Bingle campaign with our DM Jeff Kanata for episode 111 is coming next week. But so find us here on Twitch, find us on YouTube. The VODs of this episode will be available on YouTube on Friday, as well as the podcast. We are also a show that is made possible by Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/the Dungeon Run, there's all kinds of amazing bonus content and amazing things. We run an extra show called the Dungeon Cooldown on Mondays. Jessica, you were on the cooldown this Monday. What happened?
I was. Katie and I dissected the last episode. Jeff has dropped some big lore drops the past couple episodes. So we theorized, we goofed off, chatted character backstories. It's always a good time when it's a ladies' cooldown. And if you become a patron, actually, you can get a 45-minute video from your favorite warlock. And
that's me.
Into what happened.
So there's been some very heavy lore episodes lately on the Dungeon Run, and I just talked about it by myself for 50 minutes the other day. So if you just want to see me rant like a crazy person, go ahead and get into that. That's available on our Patreon. But we are
actually kind of sold me just with that. Like if I just get Morgan just talking for 50 minutes like conspiracy theorists.
I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed at this point how long they go, because I'm like, I'm just gonna start off. I'll talk for 10 minutes and then an hour.
Morgan, you already sold me. You know.
Perfect. Awesome. But stick around to the end of the show. We like to thank some of our highest level patrons in a very fun way that I don't think Gabe, Kelly, and Seffi are totally prepared for, but we'll get there. It'll be fun.
To be honest, I don't think you're prepared for us.
No,
I
think that's more accurate.
It's
just more accurate.
Look, if everyone is unprepared, then we're on a nice equal playing field.
I mean, I don't know what you're all talking about. I'm perfectly innocent and sweet, and that's all.
I believe that.
There's nothing wrong with me.
I believe it.
Oh my goodness. Lastly, we are an interactive show, so you can buy advantages and disadvantages for Gabe and for all of the players, and there will be more interactivity coming. We're running a slightly different system than we do with Jeff's game, so no potatoes, no evil yams at the moment. But if you can't tell by that,
way worse.
If you can't tell by that look on Gabe's face,
look, they know what things I was going to give them. The things I'm going to give you, I'm also going to let chat give to my big bags.
Right. Yeah,
it's messed up.
Yeah. That's the thing, Kelly and Seffi, is on our show, the chat can mess you up as much as they help you. So, huzzah.
I can't wait. Why would they ever want to mess with someone as kind and gentle as me?
This is all gonna go great. I think that's Jessica. Am I forgetting anything?
I was just gonna say, Morgan, you nailed the Jeff intro, and that includes the part where you almost forget that I have things to say.
Yep, hit it.
Yeah, so I just want to shout out everybody in chat who's been supporting us from the beginning of the stream. We got a raid from Critical Bard and a raid from Just Jules. So hello to everybody from those streams. If you're still hanging out. Hope you have fun hanging out with us tonight, playing Dungeons and Dragons. We got lots of free subs. I see some resubs through Prime. You can do that for free. Information is in our About page below. We got a big cheer from a jar full of bees. Oh, and Witchspace just gave out 10 community gift subs. So with that subscription, you can get access to our fun emotes and to the VODs. you get that early. So yeah, thank you everybody for showing up for us early and for hanging out with us at this new show.
Well, I think that leaves one more thing.
I have one thing.
Hit it, Ron.
Oh.
Yeah.
This happens every time.
I'm sorry. I'm so
No, it's my fault.
We haven't added anything yet to the merch store, but it is up there. Our beanies back in stock. We've got some of the favorite colors now that are back out of stock. So you guys get your beanies as you can. In addition, I'll be adding some new stuff in the next month, including acrylic paints. So acrylic painted art. So keep a lookout for that. You can find that on the dungeonrun.tv.
That's correct. At our website.
Is that right, Jessica? Did I say that right?
Shop.thedungeonrun.tv?
Yeah, I mean, just dungeonrun.tv.
The link's there if you go.
Either one.
Great.
I just want everyone to see how wonderful your beautiful website work is. That's really all it is.
That
Thank you.
as well. With that, I think we're ready, because I think that's everything. Gabe, we have a little tradition on here, and basically, please, if you could ask Sean, just say the 3 words of light the torch.
Light the torch. I'm in this for the long game. Hi. Welcome to the Dungeon Run. Fortune and fate. I was prepared for the camera to come back to me. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't give away any secrets. I wrote a little rhyme for all of you before we get into this chaos. Welcome, adventurers, to Fortune and Fate. Come with me and step through the gate. There are encounters, tricks, traps, and things they'll hate. Will they survive? Well, let's wait and see. I changed my mind. I didn't want to rhyme at the end. That was going to be too much work, and no. My name is Gabe Hicks. I am your storyteller, narrator, and facilitator for the satisfaction, I keep mixing up words, I'm so sorry, of the people around me. We see a lovely adventurous guild in a plain of green, beautiful wood paneling around the side, and a name on the front, the Bastion. The Bastion is a place that adventurers have come to stay, a place of fortune and favor, where adventurers of different ranks, from rank E to rank S, the highest echelon, have gathered. But the adventurers that we're going to be meeting today, well, they are newcomers. They're rank E, they haven't really done much. Their jobs will probably primarily consist of fetching, what's a not weird animal? Hippo milk. And God, I hated that. And bringing it back to whatever purveyor might want it. And the camera pans as someone is approaching the guild. We're going to go and pan over to Morgan's character, Nedrin. Please, Morgan, introduce yourself and tell us, who do we see?
Nedrin is a tall fellow, 6'5", pretty thin. He's a Vidalcan, which, if you're not familiar with Vidalcans, he has midnight blue skin, a bald head, no visible ears. He looks, he might look sort of alien at first, and you might be a little weirded out by that, but his demeanor and his speaking is very kind and very level. You see him, he's not carrying any weapons as well, but he moves very agilely with a certain amount of grace, and his smile and violet gray eyes precede him as he approaches the Bastion.
As you approach the Bastion, Gabe is going to throw you into something chaotic, Morgan, and that's why I made you do it first.
Right.
And the rest of you, I'm going to do this to you too, so prepare your creativity. As you walk into the Bastion, Nedrin, what is one of the first things that Nedrin notices with any of his 5 senses when he walks in? Is there a scent that sticks out? Is there a sound that is just piercing? Is there a taste in the air? You tell me.
I think he is somewhat, he's used to the taste of salt in his mouth. He's very he likes the ocean, he likes the sea. And so I think he can tell when a place has been well lived. It feels on the tongue, and so the taste of iron and sweat and things of that nature are in the air. And so he can taste that on his tongue right away. There's a lot of history in this here location.
Well said. And then the camera pans back out, and it goes through the door. There is someone else approaching nearby. And then the camera pans over to Kelly. Kelly, please introduce and describe your character to us.
So right away, he's walking through the door, and he walks over to somebody else, and he just gives them a little wink and a nod. He knows them well. Well, they have passed each other in the hallway here or there, but...
Is that a euphemism?
It can be if it needs to be in this situation, because he's got this gorgeous golden hair that shimmers and...
So we were definitely, in fact, too handsome for Twitch. Something that I'm going to need that description one more time, Kelly. But before that, did you say it was a butt chin, but it could cut meat?
It's a butt chin that could cut meat.
Butts aren't sharp, Kelly.
No, but this one is.
Oh. Lovely. Please, once more.
Sharpest of butts. And you can see it through the sharp armor that sort of silhouettes the sharp butt on both ends. Just to be clear, this one and that one. And he is walking through, and it's just gorgeous golden hair against the sunlight that's coming through the door. He's got piercing blue eyes. He's got one of those chins that does jut out larger than his forehead. He's making winks at people, nodding to them as if they know him, and they're looking back at him like, who are you? I don't know you. But it's the way he carries himself. He feels like everybody, even if they don't know him yet, they're going to soon know him or soon need him, because he's there to save you all. He is handsome. And he takes a moment as this cape kind of whacks against a girl that he just passed, and he sees his silhouette. He doesn't know what's there, and he just deeply bows as they enter.
What have I done? Oh my God. I don't think I've ever heard a person described as sharp more times in my life.
Sharp in every place in terms of the external. You'll soon find out that the brain isn't quite there, but he bows.
And then we come to Persephone's character. Please, Persephone, will you describe your character for us?
So, my character, Puss Puss, is a tall, thin man with a sort of like shock of curly, light brown hair that almost looks gray, that kind of indecisive color, whether it wants to be brown or blonde. Brown eyes, as opposed to handsome, has a very weak jawline that almost blends directly into his neck. His collarbones and chest are almost concave against the rest of him. He wears brown robes, and I don't mean like a rich brown. I mean like a dusty brown, something that you would like hope someone would sweep up off the ground. And in his arms is a large, and I mean huge, cat. A ragamuffin, a peach point ragamuffin with like a shock, again, using that word again, of peach on the face, this long white cream body and more peach on the tail, resting regally in his arms, has a large jeweled collar with emeralds on it. Just everything that the man carrying her is, she is not.
And as Puss walks into this delightful adventurers guild, what do you think is one of the first things they notice?
So, Puss is mostly looking around at all the doors so that he knows exactly where to run if someone scary comes by. That's really what he's all about. And
you notice about 3 doors. There's 2 entrances, and then one that almost looks like it leads to a back room.
I go to the back room. I want to just get away from people as much as possible.
Oh no. All right, we're going to come back to that because there's weird stuff back there. The camera pans out for a 4th time, but then it pans down ever so slightly. And please, Ron, will you introduce your character?
As the camera pans downward, you see what looks like a striped red and black-haired tail sort of wiggling in the air behind a crate. And as they realize that someone appears to be watching them, 2 beady eyes behind very large Coke bottle glasses appear. And as they blink, you can almost hear the tink of the eyelashes as they touch the glasses and blink. And you hear him say, "Oh, okay, I know I've got it around here somewhere. Confidence of it. Oh!" And as he pops a cork off of a purple colored potion, he says, "Oh, confidence of a dragonborn." And he downs it quickly and pops the cap back on and puts it by his belt and "I am ready." And he steps out from behind the crate. And what you see is a 4-foot-tall man, but also maybe raccoon, red panda. His hair is red. He has little pointy white ears at the top of his head, a black nose, and he has beard. His beard, which is fairly long, has a black streak right as from the eyes down the sides of his face, and it's white everywhere else. Obviously, a tail that seems to be shorter than what would an average red panda's tail would be, but still works and constantly wiggling back and forth. And what you see in front of you is Red Wigglebottom, an alchemist artificer, as he steps through the doors of the Bastion.
You know, I read all of these character descriptions ahead of time, and now hearing them all in the same place, it's terrifying.
Wild. Technically, he is a Simic hybrid with the red panda.
Okay. We have been introduced to some of the weirdest individuals possible. So for a 5th and final time in this session, at least, hopefully, unless they die, who knows? The camera pans outside once more to the most normal looking of the party. Jess, please.
Well, you see, walking in, at first glance, she appears to be a plain-looking human of average height, in a large, very nondescript black, patched-up hooded cloak, under which you might see a peak of dark browns and purples of her tailored dress, which hide her leather armor underneath to the untrained eye. But when she lowers her hood, you would see a beautiful woman with long black hair and strikingly light blue eyes that almost seem to glow. Her cloak and the folds of her dress hide a small patchwork bag and the various weapons attached to her belt, only to be taken out when necessary.
What a palate cleanser. Okay.
Wow.
Look, some of you are basically Dr. Evil. One of you is a magical Squidward. One of you is alchemic raccoon. And the other is basically Gaston and Lord Farquaad.
Wait, which one am I?
You're Dr. Evil.
You're just a dude with a cat.
Oh, my
Dr.
rib.
Evil with the strange
Oh,
cat.
right. That's right. Yeah, that's fair.
Yes.
Oh.
But I've also seen Jess roleplay, so I trust nothing. I'm just going to take everything at face value because that's absolutely something you can do in D&D, and it's a great idea. It's never gone badly for anyone. So all of you find your way into the Bastion, wandering around, speaking to different individuals, but then you feel a pulling force. And you find all of yourselves pulled through almost like a small portal, just shunted forward, and then thrown back into a seat. 5 seats making a crescent around a table. And on the other side of the table, you see standing an individual that is wearing blues and blacks, almost with a military-style jacket, buttons going down the side of their head shaved and locks going down the left side. You see a couple piercings going down their ear, and at the bottom of it is one that seems to have a tiny animal skull just hanging off. And there's an open book on the table in front of them. This is Keon. Keon is someone that had contacted each of you beforehand. He agreed to be your handler and your informant for the Bastion. He would be the one handling your group. I almost gave away a secret, but I got myself. Handling your group and giving you the different missions and jobs that you would go out on. He is a humanoid who has skin that almost resembles the earth on the ground, but stands at a tall stature. In the corner, you see a figure wearing a very similar outfit that almost looks to be a statue, with hands presented, touching the fingertips, but still with the palms at a distance. And on their back is a coffin. It's a little mysterious, but it's most likely fine. And Keon smiles and acknowledges each of you. It's good to see you, Dedrin. It's good to see you, Zell. You are looking handsome as always, handsome. And good to see you again, Peggy. Hello, Puss Puss.
Hi.
And then, Red. You are looking delightfully crimson. Yes, you're adorable. Still dangerous, but adorable. So, the first job that I have for each of you is you will be going out to retrieve something for a client. A client said they lost something in what seemed to be a forest of dreams. A little concerning, but probably nothing. This is the first job. It will be a delightful entry, I can promise you. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I do. I'm so sorry. Did the portal mess up my hair? Keon, I am so excited for this. I just need to know, does it look good right now?
Yes.
Continue, please. I'm sorry. Nedrin, go ahead.
It is definitely messed up for all the rest of you.
I mean, is tousled the right word? Lifts up Peggy. Says, meow. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine.
What is the item, Keon?
It is a magical fruit, apparently. You're looking for, and then he opens the book. You're looking for a grape that glows when you say the word suffering.
Beautiful, delightful.
Right.
So, Field of Dreams, are we to expect Arcana?
Oh, absolutely. It is a place where people's dreams have been pulled out. So there is a rumor that apparently there is a wizard who made people sleep better by pulling out their dreams and nightmares and throwing them into a field. But it's probably just nonsense jargon, not real. But this is based off of that.
Is it, do we have to suffer to get the grape?
We just say the word suffering, that sounds as if it will do the job.
Well, there wasn't a note on the notice that you had to suffer to get it. But probably not. You know what? Let's do a first roll. I would like everyone to make an insight check for me, and then tell me if you get above a 15.
Does anybody have any advantages or disadvantages?
Oh, I have so many disadvantages. You guys, I'll use one.
I adore all of you. Please give and the advantages. Please give my party disadvantages because it makes it funnier. I promise you.
Now, if you have, so Kelly, you have advantage from Who Else Elliot that's countered by Grim Faded, so you have a straight roll.
Oh, good.
How do I give Kelly disadvantage?
And Persephone, you have disadvantage from Grim Faded.
That wasn't a bit. I will spend my own money on our show.
To be real, disadvantage isn't going to make this any worse.
Ron, you have advantage from the Carson, countered by Grim Faded. I have advantage from the Carson, countered by Grim Faded. And Jessica, you have disadvantage from Grim Faded.
Oh, all right.
Grim Faded's here, everybody.
Grim, you have given me a chance to make your namesake a part of this game. So thank you.
Wow. Okay. Dokie. We're in
Danger.
Yeah, so did anyone get above a 15?
Nah.
I did. I got a 15.
Lovely. So Red, you can tell that Keon is definitely not sure. It's from Keon's reaction, he probably got very vague information, might have done a little research himself. Didn't really get much information. It's a good comparison would be if someone asked you to look up a obscure website on the internet that only like 6 people knew about and it's not even available anymore. It's never happened to me. You can't prove that.
Two advanced studios. What's his name again? I apologize, Gabe.
Keon.
Keon?
Yes.
Keon, I hate to call you out, but you seem like you don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry, was that too strong?
Nope.
Sorry.
I look strong. You are a delight, and I appreciate your candor. Honestly, I have no idea what the hell this thing is. This client is very rich. They offered me lots of coin, and I will split it amongst all of you if we can do this. To be fully honest, when someone says, I want you to find a grape that glows when you say suffering, my immediate response is concern.
Mm-hmm.
But this is one of the more available jobs I found for the rank of our group.
To be honest, I've heard of these stories, Red, just to quell your fears. I read about this amazing tale once where there was this apple, right? And it was enchanted, and a young maiden bit the apple and fell asleep. And then a handsome, young, dapper prince went to this maiden and then kissed her, and she awakened. And all was good in the world. So I hear many stories of this, so you do not have to fear, Red. I think that this is very canon heavy within the fairy tale realm.
Wasn't the only connection?
You can kiss me awake. I'm okay with it.
Wasn't the only connection there like fruit, though?
Yes, I've heard about that story, but it definitely ended differently the way I read it, because I'm pretty sure she sacrificed him to something and then ascended.
And it is to be the 5 of us, or is there 6, 5 and a cat, I guess. It's to be the 5 of us that go?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Is there any information about maybe like what the weather or landscape might be like? Am I going to have to swim?
Don't worry, Peggy. He didn't mean to just call you a cat. Peggy turns to you, Nedrin, and just goes,
I apologize. I did not mean to apply any judgment by calling you a cat. Are you not a cat?
Cat doesn't respond.
What have I done? Okay. Yeah. Yes, this is fine.
This is fine.
Red, I do not think that there will be much water in a forest, but I am optimistic.
forest. Okay.
I am a skilled swimmer and also at breathing underwater, Mr. Red, is it?
Oh,
So,
yes.
If need be, I can handle that.
Oh, great.
Ian, will you equip us with anything that we might need on our quest to retrieve this grape that you speak of?
Sounds way less interesting when you say it out loud, I realize.
As long as we're getting paid the same amount, it doesn't really matter how interesting.
Oh, absolutely. If you succeed on this, each of you will get a gold piece.
One gold
You
piece?
know what, Ned? Some of you are spoiled, okay? A gold piece goes a long way.
The reputation of the Bastion is that it is one of the better adventurers' guilds. I am not above taking lower pay if it means better work, but 1 gold is a little on the low end. I don't think
And
it's...
you are a newcomer, Nedrin. You have to just at least prove the fact that you can come back alive.
So we're interns.
This is an internal job. I'm not sure where you should not have to go. Don't go inside of the trees, Red.
Climb them. Is that okay? Can I go up them?
I mean, probably sure.
Oh, okay.
I've never been there personally.
Field of
Gold
Dreams,
piece
I
doesn't
mean-
even cover Peggy's bill for eating for a day.
And I mean, a field of dreams certainly sounds like there might be a fair maiden in need of saving, and if it ends in a kiss, that's the only sort of glory I need.
Oh, God.
gods.
What if the princess doesn't want a kiss, though?
That's not how any of the books I read, so we can talk about this on our journey.
Well, fairy tales aren't really real life, are they?
Gabe, Red pulls out a small tool set and tinkering, and pulls out a small rounded stone, looks like a river stone, and takes about 6 seconds and taps it and says, "We're looking for a grape that responds to the word suffering." And he taps it again. "Okay, now I know what to do." And he taps it, and his voice repeats in the exact same, and you hear him, whenever he touches the rock, it'll say, "We're looking for a grape that responds to the word suffering." Okay.
That will be great when I take your memories. So that's
Well, I won't ever forget now.
that is going to be very useful when I take your memories. I'm glad you did that,
Agent,
Ron.
I
Thank you.
sometimes get lost and I forget what I'm doing, and so this helps remind me.
All right. Well, this seems fairly straightforward, and with the 5 of us, 6 of us, I guess, then I think the sooner we get going, the better, so that we can get back and get our 1 gold piece.
Yes. So,
Unless there's any other information that you might not be remembering to tell us off the bat.
Nope, good luck. And Keon pulls out what looks to be a scroll. And there is a very small half ruby that is basically the seal on the scroll. Any of you can take this, because this is your ticket back here. When you are ready to return home, unveil the scroll. But know, each of you have to be close to each other for it to work.
Ned, take the scroll. She whispers. Stella whispers.
I'll take the scroll, thank you.
If you unveil the scroll, and everyone is not within 15 feet of the person activating the scroll, you will not make it home.
Noted.
Okay, so don't split up. Got it.
Don't split up.
What if we find somebody there who needs saving? Are we able to bring them back through?
Do they have the grape called Suffering? Because if not, it's not really our business.
Define saving. Also, specifically for you, handsome.
Yes.
You're so smart. You are so capable.
Tell me more, please. Indulge me.
You're handsome and you have such a chiseled chin and
Pretty sure it could cut meat.
nice eyes. Also, this is it's a place called the Forest of Dreams.
Mm.
So maybe make sure someone's real before you try to bring them home with you. Maybe.
Oh, how would we do that? Do we poke them? How do we know?
I'll help you.
Oh, thank you, Red.
Yeah,
Yes,
I can probably tell with magic.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Oh, concerning. I never even thought about that. Things of dreams are not real.
I am shocked you didn't read it in. How many of your books involve more words than pictures?
I'm not going to say if I'm literate or not. Of course, I can read.
That was not the question? Oh, gods. All right. Are there any other questions?
I don't want to be rude, but the fellow in the corner with the coffin on their back, any significance that we should know about with the coffin?
No, it carries my bones.
Understood.
No, maybe we should go.
I have some concerns, not really questions.
Many
Concerns.
Other growth. And you see almost like a pool of water come out of Kian's water skin. And it starts to form a circle. And the circle starts to pool together to make a solid sphere. And then it starts to take shape and image. You see trees. It almost looks like a mosaic painting. And then it starts to solidify and it glows. And you see a portal. You see trees very similar to the ones behind me, but they do distinctly almost look like they're a strange middle ground of painted versus reality. That is the Forest of Dreams.
It looks super, like, soupy.
Yes.
Can I stand up?
Absolutely.
I'll walk into the portal, I guess.
Here goes nothing.
Wait,
And Red dives through the portal.
wait, are we just going? We're not gonna prepare anything? Like, we're just gonna go in?
That was Gabe laughing, I promise. Not Kian. That's very different.
The cat jumps out of the Puss's arms, looks back at him, hops her nose, and just walks through the portal. Wait, no, Becky, don't go! And follows her.
Handsome
Mostly
kind of looks
stumbling.
Handsome kind of looks to Zell and then motions towards the portal, and he gives a little head nod. I implore you first.
Oh, why, thank you, you handsome man. And she gives him a little wink, and then turns and tucks her hood a little more over her face and walks through the portal.
And then Handsome just kind of jumps in right after.
The portal closes behind you. And you find yourselves in a forest that almost sounds like it's breathing. It's and the ground moves with the breathing. It raises and lowers ever so slightly, almost like you're standing on the chest of an enormous creature. Welcome to the Forest of Dreams. Occasionally you hear the chirping of birds. After a second or two, you see what looks to be a six-legged squirrel scutter by. Then you see what looks to be just a leg, rounded off at the top, hopping past each of you. Clouds that are laughing and joking with one another above. And then all of you get a whiff of a very sweet scent. Let's say northeast of you. What would you like to do?
Well, Zell will try to figure out what the smell is, what it's seeming like it is, why it's familiar. Is it familiar? It's just sweet.
Just sweet. Make a perception or survival check.
Okay.
Are there more disadvantages? Have all of you blessed me? Have all of you blessed me? No.
Jessica has a straight roll at them.
All right. Oh, bad. 6.
Ah, lovely. It smells like wine.
Interesting.
Well, listen, if the group of us are going to work together to do this job quickly and efficiently, I think if everyone is all right with it,
Also, God voice above, I'd like you to know I'm using an advantage roll. That's all you have to know. Thank you.
I think we should certainly follow the smell of the wine if we're looking for a grape.
But if before we do, I mean, I think that's a wise assumption. But I just want to, Red, what do
Yes.
you? If you don't mind me asking, what do you do? What are you good at?
Oh, I'm a scientist. I
Excellent.
invent things, and mostly I understand the chemical nature of the world around us. And speaking of which,
He immediately clamps down and starts to try to pull small amounts of grass or leaves from the ground, attempting to use his knowledge of nature to determine how natural this thing is. Obviously, it's breathing ground, but does it still read as a natural-based creature or dirt? Does it still come off as it's natural?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool.
So yeah, no, make a nature roll for me.
All right. Do I have any advantages, disadvantages?
Oh, I'm pretty sure you do. No, dang it, you don't.
All right. So my roll is 23.
I hate you. It is definitely natural. So it feels so from your research and understanding, and this is a natural phenomenon that does happen in real life, which is horrifying. There is the idea of breathing forests where pressure is going underneath the ground, and the way that the pressure is flowing, it makes the ground shift and trees move and quake. And it almost specifically feels like that's what's happening here.
okay, this is not. This is totally normal. It's similar to an effect that occurs in a variety of different situations, but this is completely natural and real.
All right, that's wise. People may call things.
Wait, you're telling me that a grape makes wine? That doesn't make sense. They're two different things. I don't understand.
Can we put a pin in that? Because a leg just walked by. That doesn't seem natural.
Yeah, that's not. I've never seen a sentient leg before.
No. Also, Handsome, you concern me more and more every time you talk.
It's all right. Well, Handsome, is Handsome carrying weapons of some sort? Oh, thank God.
He is indeed. He has a shield. He has a beautiful a couple of things. You know, if you really want to pull it out, I'll show you. There's javelin. He got a long sword. He's got he's got all the equipment. He's got all the fine gear.
I assume you're fairly good at using those.
Oh yes, these things, of course. Honestly, I take a lot of pride in protecting others. Dear Puss Puss is the name, if I'm not concerned.
Yeah.
Would you like to be my ward? You know what? I'm not going to even ask. You're my ward. I'm protecting you. I'm warding you. You're welcome.
Okay, I'm fine with that. Thank you.
Puss Puss.
Uh-huh.
I'm honestly most curious about. I've been most wanting to ask you this question. I seem to have made the mistake of calling that your cat, and I apologize again if I offended.
No, it was raises the cat. She's a cat. You just said just a cat.
Okay. Oh, all right.
That was the rude part.
Oh, well, again, I apologize. What are you good at?
Oh, I can cast spells.
Oh,
yeah.
You can do that too. I forgot to mention.
okay, good.
Yeah, I'm a wizard.
Oh.
Fantastic.
I also got this really cool crossbow.
Okay, all right. This is all putting it together. Zell, was it?
Mhm.
Okay, great. All right, well, and you seem
What
to
do
be...
you do?
Well, I'm efficient at sneakery and things of that nature. I'm fairly good with my hands. And I also, well, and actually, Ned will, using psionic powers, one of his psionic energy die, you will hear Ned's voice in your head. I will, both Red and Zell will hear Ned's voice in your head. I can also do this.
Also do what?
He spoke in my head.
Wait, who did?
Yeah.
Very useful.
I did.
All of
Ned
you
did.
get the smell of baked bread flowing
okay.
into your nostrils.
I'm going after that. It's my weakness.
And
It sounds
almost
like it's
as if
coming
he's
from
not
all
even
around you.
Almost if he's not even. He just starts walking around, sniffing to try to find where this bread is.
No.
Zell will walk over and daintily reach down and grab the back of his collar.
Oh! Baked goods.
Grapes. Magical grapes.
Grapes.
I would like
Grapes.
everyone to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no!
Oh,
no.
no.
A 14 or higher. Now, Kelly, Persephone, and Morgan, you all have disadvantages currently.
Fun.
As of Adulkin. And by the way, say who they're from. So Shiny 8-Bit Boo or Shiny 8-Bit Boo.
Shani Boo, thank you for bringing Kelly and Persephone more joy. And Mavith,
That's
Yeah,
Why
a
don't we
lot
give
of
you a
joy.
chance to watch
I got
Morgan
a
suffer?
nat. I got a nat 1.
Oh,
No.
I got a nat 20.
Upset with you.
As of Adulkin, I do get advantage on wisdom saving throws, so that cancels each other out.
Mm-hmm.
But I still only got an 11.
Yeah, I got a 6.
Fantastic.
Oh no.
What a gift.
Anybody pass?
I got a 13, so not high enough.
I love how Red is the only one who has passed twice now.
What's the number again that we have to hit?
14.
14. I can burn one of my Sentinel intuitions to roll an intuition die on this to add a little bit more to my check, and I'm just going to do that because this feels desperate, and it's now a 15.
Great. Love it. Amazing. Gabe is happy. But my little friend is less happy. So everyone except Red and Handsome, you see a little mushroom person, like 6 inches tall, just hobble out of the brush. And they're just looking at all of you, and you hear,
Oh my god, it's adorable.
and Red and Handsome, this is a very strange creature. You feel no enticement towards it, but everyone else, you see almost like what would be 2 little like stick figure eyes, and then just a nice smile on their face.
Hello, sweetheart. Who are you?
Fascinating little creature.
Oh.
And
adorable.
Nedrin, Zell, Puss, you hear in your head, I'm sleepy, but I'm thirsty. I know where fruit is. You should come with me.
It says it knows where fruit is.
Is that? Excuse me, sir, ma'am, or they. Can you hear me? Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth?
It runs and hides behind Zell's leg.
Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you.
Ned will try to think back to it. Do you know where grapes are?
Yes, I do. I do. What kind would you like? Would you like the ones that scream?
The ones that glow.
The ones that glow when you say words.
Oh.
And none of this is spoken. Is this all thought?
Oh, he didn't speak out loud? The mushroom didn't?
Well, but
Then
if
I
you
wouldn't
hear
have
it
said
too,
that.
I mean, but you're also.
But
yeah.
Zell can respond out loud, and that's totally fine.
But I hear what the mushroom is saying?
Yes, in your head.
In my head. Oh, that's how your power works?
Well, no. That's the mushroom is in our heads.
Oh.
You got a lot of
okay.
people in your head right now.
So as this is happening, Puss has reached into like a bag and pulls out like a dish and starts filling it with water, very clearly usually used for Peggy. Places it on the ground in front of Zell so the mushroom can drink.
Oh, so cute.
Very good.
Drink up.
Do I trust this shroom?
Make an insight check.
It feels a little eerie. And because I have a ward and the ward is being threatened, I get advantage unless I have disadvantage. Oh no, I'm checking. Do I have disadvantage? I have disadvantage still. So
Disadvantage from which space?
Oh God, my net 20's burned. Sorry, that hurts so hard. Oh my God. So it's only an 8. Only an 8.
That's a shame. So first, thank you, A Jar Full of Bees, for the first advantage, and thank you, Shiny 8-Bit Boo, for this second one. That is for something very unimportant. You can't tell, handsome. You just can't tell. They seem like a fun guy. I don't know.
Oh man.
And it walks over to the pool of water, and it actually puts its arm things into the water, and its body grows, and now it becomes about a foot tall.
Oh.
And Red and Handsome, all of you can now hear it speaks out loud as a mouth appears at this size. And it's kind of like a creepy scarecrow-esque mouth, but this is fine.
Still cute.
What did it say?
I couldn't hear it.
Take us to the grapes.
It starts hobbling northeast.
Okay. Everyone have your weapons at the ready.
Gabe, as we're walking, Red will use a little bit of druidcraft to make a small flower blossom appear on the head of the mushroom man.
There, that's better. Now he's formal.
Fine. Ned at
Make an Arcana check.
Sure.
That's
all right.
an interesting choice.
Okay.
It's like a little top hat.
18.
So you try to make a bloom on its head. Hold on. Because okay. So in this circumstance, Druidcraft, works on plants.
Yes.
And nothing Druid crafts on this thing's head.
That is not normal.
Red, and I pull Red aside and I'm like, I just pull him at least out of earshot as we're walking in the direction.
As I say,
Red's
Ned is already following.
Red's eyes just get super big as you pull him aside, as he's staring up at you.
Yes. What do you mean? I feel like this thing, though it's quite endearing in its own way, I can't quite get a read on it. Should I have an ability to because I am divine. I can open up divine senses and I can see if something is sort of like good or evil and things like that. Should I attempt this? What do you mean?
That's not a plant.
Oh.
But you're so handsome.
Oh, please stop it, Red.
It is a fun guy, though. It's moving really cool. I like it.
I don't think that's a mushroom.
You say that. Oh, okay. Everyone make a.
What did you do wrong?
The magic word?
Uh-oh.
Intelligence saving throw.
That just so happens to be my best one.
Do I have a disadvantage or anything?
You have countered. You
Yep. You have a flat roll. Handsome has an advantage.
Oh my God! Thank God I
Drew
rolled in
from
that one.
IT.
Thank
But
you.
Morgan, you have a disadvantage from the fail waffle.
Thank you, Fail Waffle. And Persephone, you've got advantage from Chafrikas that was countered by Witch Space. So
Oh, I see.
Straight roll for me, Morgan.
yes, it is.
Cool.
Okay. Wait, you said intelligence saving throw, yes?
Man, rolling every roll so badly tonight.
I was gonna say session 1. Dirty
Nothing
20.
under 10.
18 for me.
Vidalkins also have advantage on intelligence saving throw, so it was a flat roll for me.
Fine.
So
I'll throw a
30.
boulder, Morgan, since you really want it.
I got an 8.
9.
Great.
Strong 5.
Okay.
All of us.
Pretty 20.
That is Nedrin and Puss that have succeeded in this roll. There is
good. I succeeded at something.
There is a moment where Red says, "That's not a plant." And you see the back of this mushroom's head form what looked to be, for a couple seconds, as if you were like looking through a veil. You know that very upset and horrified opera mask?
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Yes, it makes that imprinted in the back of its head.
Instantaneous firebolt.
Oh!
Just automatically, not even thinking about it, just scared shitless.
Coming from who?
From Puss Puss. Oh no, all my... Okay. Weird thing, all of my prepared spells went away.
Oh no.
For some reason.
Firebolt's just an
Which wasn't
attack,
really
though.
there.
Yep, yeah, it's a ranged spell attack.
You're good.
Okay, cool.
Yep, so go ahead and roll that.
Not two.
Okay. So it goes whizzing past this fungus creature, and we're going to roll initiative.
Oh boy.
Oh, man.
Here goes.
Great.
We're gonna have a fun time.
Great.
What? I've rolled, I think, 4 6s tonight. What is going on?
And
Everybody's got
thank
a
you,
straight roll.
Sitar, for
Cool.
the advantage on my initiative roll.
Pure evil. Rotted.
That went from a 2 to a 19.
Oh my goodness.
Oh boy.
Yeah, this is fine.
12 for me.
12.
Mm-hmm.
19.
I rolled another 2 in a row, so now it's 4. My initiative is 4.
Morgan, was that 19?
19. Yep.
Okay. Jess?
10.
Beautiful. And then Kelly.
15 for handsome.
Okay. Morgan, what is your dexterity bonus?
3.
I go first.
Oh, really?
Yes, this is
Dex-
a this is
Oh,
a
I
nightmare
see.
demon mushroom.
Little non-mushroom, aren't you?
Oh.
So this fungus figure, it almost starts rolling onto the ground into a strange amalgamation of spores. And then it shoots outwards. Its arms become tree trunks. Its legs become bushes. And its body becomes almost a spherical abomination. And in the inside of its mouth, as it opens with a toothy maw, you see sitting inside of it, almost cackling and floating, a little pixie figure, staring at all of you with razor sharp teeth and a grin on their face.
Oh no.
Love it.
He's less
I-
fun now.
Love Feywild. So they are going to pull up a little dust in their hand and blow it out at all of you. And this one, Morgan, is a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, all right, you got me. Don't have advantage on that.
And no one has advantages right now.
Don't
I
suppose
lied. I lied. Oh no! Watching this fill in is good for me.
Oh no.
Jess, I think that you are favored because you haven't been given very many disadvantages. But everyone other than Jess actually has to roll with disadvantage thanks to Shiny
Yep.
8-bit.
They're
I
like,
think
shoot
I've
us
only
in
rolled
them.
with disadvantages.
I'm rolling
Roll
with
with
Shiny
disadvantage.
8-bit boo.
Shiny 8-bit boo, what are you doing? No, kidding.
Why'd you do that to me?
Just
Pain.
kidding, just kidding. Okay.
11.
9.
12.
Despite being small of stature, Red is very constitutionally aware. 18.
And then what did you get, Jess?
16.
Okay. So Zell and Reg do succeed in this. This, very probably close to home for some of us, horrible pollen gets caught in your nose and you get pushed into an uncontrollable sneezing fit. You're sneezing so hard, it actually makes your eyes start to go red and watering and blurry. And now, if you make an attack roll, well, your eyes are bothered. You'll be able to make a Constitution roll at the end of your turn.
Okay.
But initially, Any attack rolls are going to be made at disadvantage while your eyes are bothered by this pollen.
Yikes.
Too real. It's too real.
Yes.
I was going to say it's allergy season. I'm not a fan.
Not a fan.
Not
Not a fan.
Okay. All right.
Art imitates life. Next is you, Morgan.
Right. That is bonus action disengage, getting away. And you see him concentrate for a moment, and then you see this the shape of a dagger manifest inside his right hand. But it looks almost gray and blurry. It looks as if it's like a pencil drawing. It looks almost 2D, like Mario paper of this, but it's a curved, long dagger that he's got in his hand as he's trying to like shake this out. And as he's so bonus action disengage. As he's backing up, he tries and he chucks the this soul knife. He is a soul knife rogue at the at the pixie inside the mushroom. At disadvantage,
Now,
I guess.
I know I gave them disadvantage. If you like these people, I understand giving them advantage now. There's still plenty of ways that I can torment them.
Oh, goodness.
But
Apparently.
you can keep giving them disadvantage because it's funnier that way. So go ahead and make that attack roll.
Full force of evil in effect here in this game. We've never seen
Seriously.
a campaign that's been more force of evil.
8.
And we're just getting started.
That's an 8. It's an 8. That's a miss, I assume.
It goes flying towards the pixie, and you see it like, and it like grabs it with magic, almost a mage hand, but think like mage nails instead, and it just.
Yeah, it's so this kind of paper drawn dagger will fly through the air as it grabs it and it chucks it off to the side. It disappears again and reappears back in his hand.
You see their tiny eyes narrow a little bit towards you. Is that your turn?
That is my turn. And I will have backed up about, we'll say like 15 feet.
Beautiful. So then we go to not just beautiful, but handsome.
Do not disturb my beauty. And so he just like takes out his shield and his longsword, and with his eyes all red and his hair getting messed up and his face getting kind of, blotchy from the pixie dust. He's gonna just start slicing, unfortunately at disadvantage. But he is just ready to hit.
Oh, yeah, do it.
Oh, did you say I got a saving throw at the end of my turn to try and clear clear my eyes? Okay, yes.
And that
You made a 16.
Oh no, 11 does not hit with disadvantage.
At 20 on my con save.
So you clear your allergies.
Goodness, thank goodness.
Never mind. Give them more disadvantages. So with the 11, you are swinging around, swinging wide. You try to swing into this pixie, but it seems like the mushroom is like moving it away. And you notice that it doesn't seem like the mushroom so much is sentient in itself, but it's more like a vehicle, so to speak, for the pixie.
Like Men in Black with that little thing inside the guy's
100%. 100%. Let's see if you can catch all of the references that I make over this campaign.
Working on it.
And Handsome, as you look at this tiny creature, you hear a voice in your head. I'm more handsome than you'll ever be.
Right for the juggler!
He just screams.
All right.
Your horror.
Seppi, it is your turn.
Oh, and can I roll for my con save too?
Yes, please make your roll.
Oops, sorry about that one. Knocked over my water bottle. Out of excitement.
I will say, you have one more disadvantage from Shiny 8-Bit. Boo, Kelly.
Oh, thank you, gracious DM, for giving me a chance to fail that one hard.
I'm just a man of the
7
people.
With a 7.
I am just a representative of what the people want.
Handsome will continue to sneeze.
As you sneeze,
prettiest sneezes you've ever seen.
There's just a moment where your eyes are watering. Does Hamza have more makeup?
A lot. It's caked. It's like a layer, and it doesn't match his neck.
Good bait. Oh,
The color is starting to look
shading.
like a
Come
sad
on.
tan that's washing off.
My contour.
And just because it's funnier that way, the little pixie makes a mirror appear in front of you, so you have to see your contour
He
failing.
starts crying. He's sobbing, and it's not from the pixie dust.
That brings us to Sephi.
When Puss Puss coughs and sneezes, it's not pretty. Snot is just pouring out of his nose, tears coming out of his eyes. His face gets really blotchy and red around the cheeks. And as he is flailing around, he's going to cast Firebolt again. This is with disadvantage naturally, right? Because of the effect?
Yep.
That is a nat 1.
Oh.
Somebody
this game.
help us.
I love this game. Yeah, screw it. It's funnier this way. You send that firebolt going towards the pixie, and it's guiding directly towards them, but then it stops a couple inches from their tiny hand, and it looks like there's a small force of wind circling this firebolt. And then it's a laugh, almost very akin to like like Majora's Mask, think. And the firebolt gets flung to the side into what looks to be a very dry-looking tree.
Oh no.
Can we say that Puss Puss is standing under that tree?
Absolutely. So yeah, it goes past your shoulder to this very dry-looking tree.
Oh no!
But that's a problem for later. Go ahead and make a con save.
I mean, if we burn
Do I have a
forest
disadvantage
down,
again?
we'll find the grapes.
You do not have disadvantage on this. Nope.
Okay,
It's
cool.
a straight roll.
You got this. You got this.
Morgan, just because you said it, what do you think happens to dreams locked in a place called the Field of Dreams if you burn it, like the Forest of Dreams if you burn it down?
Only good things, Gabe. Only good things.
Great. We have a different definition of good things. What did you
That's
get, Sephi?
That's a 14.
That will pass.
Oh, great! Now I can
Very
see the fire I'm about to be engulfed by. Ah!
A man of the people. Now, Jess, Zell, please save them.
So Zell turns and also uses her bonus action to disengage and moves 10-15 feet away. And almost expressionless, she almost bored, she turns towards the creature and pulls out her hand crossbow from underneath her cloak and will shoot it at the mushroom. And as she does, if you're paying attention to Zell, you might see the slight whisper of what looks to be maybe a tabaxi head? Face?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of whispering out.
Wait, of her own face?
No, around the weapon.
Oh.
Kind of like out
Terrifying.
of her being.
Oh.
I enjoy this.
So I need to roll to attack. I play a wizard normally, so
I was
this is
saying the
gonna be
other
fun for
day.
me.
I was saying the other day that Jessica, besides Fahima, that everyone on the Dungeon Run knows Jessica's character, she has created every other character I've seen her create is absolutely horrifying.
We got time.
So I rolled a 10 and plus 6, 16 to hit the mushroom.
Beautiful. You shoot your crossbow through this mushroom, and as soon as it makes contact, it disappears. And the pixie is there floating by itself, almost like you popped a balloon. None of you hit this thing at all yet.
Interesting.
And now the pixie looks a little bit frantic and panicked, and is looking around, eyes darting, and then narrows them on you.
She swirls away, tucks her cloak over her face.
And then that brings us to Red Wigglebottom.
Red takes a second to look around his belt, and he grabs what a clear potion bottle, and in it looked like decaying blackberries, and he pops one in his mouth and spits out a line of acid 30 feet at the out of his mouth at the pixie.
Amazing.
Make a concentration dexterity saving throw. Apologies.
Sometimes
about the hot
you
mic.
plan for many things. Thank you, Witch Space, for the advantage. This is not something I planned for. Huh? Much better. That is an 18.
That passes.
Let's take half.
Unfortunately, I believe that's it.
Okay.
Yep. The acid sort of splashes on the ground, sizzling it as the pixie dodges out of the way.
Well, I tried.
Wait,
Stomach acid is effective.
It is no damage instead of half?
Yeah, it's no damage at all.
Oh, thank God. Great. For no reason at all. Irrelevant.
Yeah.
Now it's my turn.
I think I have a bonus action. Let me make sure I do. No. Has anybody been hurt?
Yeah.
No.
Not
No.
yet.
Okay, never mind. Then we're good.
Definitely not yet.
We're good.
It's good to know we have a
Little
healer in the
that-
group, though.
There's a burning tree about to fall onto a cat, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Something that is delightful about what pixies can do, canonically, in this game, Dungeons and Dragons, is turn invisible. And that's what this little weirdo does. They immediately turn invisible, noticing that everything is going butts up and not in the handsome way. And
So
the
good.
tree starts to burn and sizzle and chirp with the flames as they lick the ground. And then the tree ignites in a wild blaze as the pixie snaps their fingers and turns invisible.
That's what I was trying to prevent.
Out of the way. That's yes. That is yes.
Are we still in initiative?
No, you are not. You are out of initiative, and you didn't get hurt.
Puss,
Which
come
is
here.
great.
I'll pull Puss away from It's all right. 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 Get away. Let's move.
Is it all right though, Gabe?
I mean, it depends on how long y'all decide to stand here and talk next to a burning tree.
Oh,
How much damage am I taking? Because I'm assuming I was right under the tree.
Not yet.
Can Zell still determine a direction that the wine or the sweet scent is coming from?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I think we should just follow that sweet smell, right?
well, we might want to put out the fire.
Yeah,
Do
the
you avoid
fire.
doing
Where'd
that?
the thing go? Is it gonna follow us?
Oh, hold on, I got something.
And from very back of on his belt of all of his bottles, he pulls out what looks like a jug with a bunch of different corks on it.
Okay, hold on.
It's an alchemy jug full of fresh water.
Cool.
And he pops the cork and begins to try to pour the water on the fire. He's only 4 feet tall, so I don't know how effective that is, but
Ned stills for a moment and tries to see if he can sense where the pixie went. Can I roll a perception check or something to if
Yeah,
it's...
go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay, great.
so I have 8 gallons in the
The
jug,
bonus.
and 2 gallons can come out per minute.
Okay.
I rolled a 12, but one of his psionic abilities is Psi Bolstered Knack, which allows me to add a D6 to any ability check.
Go for it. Yeah, this is great.
So 12 up to a 17 perception.
Delightful. You sense the pixie, like above the tree that's burning right now.
Everyone away from the tree.
I gotta put it out.
Nope.
No, don't worry about it.
Hold on, I have something that works.
I would. Oh, yes, no, you please, you first. Your thing is better for them.
So Puss holds out a hand and goes to cast a spell, thinking that it's create water.
Yes, do that one. Yeah, that one.
But instead casts Tasha's caustic brew
Yeah.
on the fire.
That's okay.
That was the 30 feet
So-
acid
No,
line.
that was actually a very okay. I'm not gonna make you roll for that because this is a very smart thing to do.
Is it?
Sadly,
It's what I tried to do but missed.
Topsy-turvy world.
Here's the fun thing about nature. Tasha's caustic brew with this acidic liquid, it will basically burn through and then kind of get rid of what the fire was burning. No one looked at the tree really, and here's a delightful thing for all of you listening. The reason I was excited about them putting water on this burning tree was because the pixie was above the tree casting grease and making it a grease fire, as Red was putting water on a grease fire. And when you put water on a grease fire, it spreads.
Yeah, faster.
See, I thought the acid was just going to make the fire more intense, and it was a
No,
really stupid
I'm very upset that it worked in your favor.
Puss is accidentally a genius, so
Yes,
That's right.
Yes.
now you have to deal with that.
Apparently. I'm really smart.
And the fire dies down, and the tree is only partially burned.
Are we able to tell Puss
Oh.
that you mistakenly cast a spell that you weren't intending to? What does that look like?
What do you mean?
Never mind.
Excellent job. I'm glad to have you around.
How did you do that without eating a rotten berry? That's how I did it.
Well, you see, I've been told that like certain parts of my ward's personality are caustic, so like I could just cast acid.
One moment, and
That's so
if I still see where the pixie is, I summon another dagger and chuck it up at it.
Make an attack roll.
Yeah.
Come on. Okay. Yeah. 21.
I have to check something. Oh, no disadvantages. I'm
Sorry.
You hear as your dagger speeds through something, and then there is a small little puff of smoke where you sensed the pixie.
I think I got it.
Got what?
Never mind.
Right, so everybody be on your guard. Looks like we need to get out of here as quickly as possible.
Right. Where
And
to,
Zal,
though?
you do still get a whiff of the scent to the northeast of like the wine.
All right,
Right.
follow me.
It's probably wise of us to just not trust anything we see.
Zella's
Any
walking
tricks
away.
Here. I can't really see much
Red
still.
runs
Yeah, like the
to catch
walking
up to
leg.
Can I help? Can I help Handsome like clear some stuff out of his eyes? Can I?
Yes, so roll with advantage for your con save, Handsome.
Here, Red. Give me a little bit of that water.
Okay.
I'll-
That's better. That's a 15.
Yes, okay, so you do clear it out.
Okay, good. But he still cries because he saw the mirror and he knows what his makeup currently looks like and he knows how unhandsome he might be. So he very desperately pulls, Nedrin aside as he was trying to help and assist and kind of goes over and goes, listen, I really hope that you can, if you find a mirror moving forward, I'd like to take out my bag and just do a couple touch-ups, along the way. No, I know we're, in a place where things look different, but I can't, I have a certain image that I need to.
Possibly have some reflective devices in amongst my tools, if that'll help. I don't have a
Oh,
mirror.
you You are what are you? You're a blue man, a blue shape.
No,
What do you wish to be called?
A blue man is accurate. Thank you.
Okay, you are a blue man of your word. Thank you. And I just love as we continue on the path. Handsome is trying to fix himself.
He'll pull out. He's got some navigator's tools, and so Ned will like give you a protractor. It's like, I think if you hold it right with the light, you can probably see a little bit of your face.
Oh, that's oh gosh, that's my zit. No, I spent hours on that. Okay.
Honestly,
Red tugs on Zell's cloak. We might want to wait up because they're over there and they have the scroll.
Puss. Will you make a Arcana check for me? And it is, fortunately for you all, with advantage, thanks to LZBN Wolf.
Woo!
LZBN Wolf. That's amazing.
Wolf.
One of our great fans.
She's amazing.
There.
Puss.
Yeah.
Arcana check with advantage.
Arcana check with advantage.
Oh, sorry, I completely missed that.
No, that's fine. I was
There's
like,
a lot going on.
That was so in character.
That was brilliantly in character.
That is a 25.
Whoa.
With the way that magic has been reacting, there is some fundamental rules of reality, of real life, but the way that the mushroom disappeared, the pixie disappeared, the way that the tree was all acting together, you're starting to piece together that this is magic manifesting as what could be people's dreams or people's nightmares. Some people's worst nightmare is a fire. People's worst nightmare is a grease fire. Some people's worst nightmare is mushrooms. Some people absolutely hate them, and sometimes they love them.
Oh, this place is bad.
That's a good answer.
Scary and nightmares and no.
Like literal nightmares, do you think?
Yeah.
All right,
Zell will she'll shout over her shoulder, "We're better off staying together. Hurry up!"
Yeah, let's move it.
Let's not get separated. Otherwise, one of us is gonna get left here, and it better not be me.
All right.
Hurry up.
Let's move
Grabs the cat arms and starts running. When Puss runs, it's very like there's no upper body movement. It's all lower leg and just too much wobble.
A heavy cat. We talking like a 20-pound cat? Like how big of a cat are we talking?
So have you ever? So it's a ragamuffin the size of a Norwegian forest cat. So we're talking like 25, 30-pound cat.
Oh wow.
Okay. Wow.
Big baby.
Cat.
Big floofy.
Big floofy cat. Like a lot of fluffy fur.
Right. Ned is getting used to that. Okay.
It's about the size of like a and in real life they're about the size. They're about the size of like Norwegian forest cats are about the size of
Like a lynx, a small dog.
I was trying to name a dog breed like oh god. They're bigger than a Pomeranian, but not as big as a golden retriever. Like somewhere in between that.
Got it. Okay.
So as you all are traveling through this forest, you do see even stranger things. You see what looks to be a phoenix the size of a chicken. You see what looks to be a 7-legged iguana, but it's got baby legs instead of iguana legs. It's it's very concerning. You all agreed to let me be here. That was a horrible mistake. And then you hear what sounds like a rooster going off wildly, vividly. And as you get closer, moving towards where you think you need to go, following this scent, you see an alligator hanging in a tree making the rooster sound whenever it opens its mouth. It's a horrifying shriek. Also, alligators do actually climb trees. It's a horrible problem. They will like drop out of the trees and land on their target so that they can't run. It's really messed. It's kind of funny, but it's really messed up.
And this is the list of reasons I'm never going to Florida.
Never.
Florida is the nightmare realm that we are in right now. It's just Florida.
It's Florida.
Florida.
And you walk underneath a beautiful archway of red, green, and blue flowers. And you see a hill that goes upwards. And you see a large tree with different shades of orange and yellow. And growing off of the tree, you see a variety of fist-sized grapes.
Red's jaw just goes.
Those are some big grapes.
Suffering.
You see glowing on some of those grapes.
All right. Look around, make sure is there anything else around in this.
Zell's gonna check for traps.
I'm just glad we didn't have to suffer after all.
This seems very convenient. Didn't they say grape singular? There's many.
I think we only need one.
Zell's gonna be looking for tripwires, for things that are glowing that should not be, other than the grapes, for
Gabe,
off colors, for sparkles.
How far are the grapes off the ground?
About 20 feet up.
So
how would you like to search for traps, Zell? I love this part.
Well, she will sneak ahead, carefully watching her step as she goes. First, she will check visually for all of, anything that seems more out of place than
roll perception.
They would be. Okay.
I'm gonna use my fortune to guess. It's going to be a 13, isn't it?
Okay.
Weird.
Would you roll, Jess?
Oh, you're close. A 10.
Almost 3 high. Okay. Yeah, you don't see anything.
Okay, so then she'll start to reach out and...
Wait, before you do, I would like to cast Divine Sense because we are in a place that is dangerous. May I, please?
Now, for any of our listeners who don't know what that does, before I say my next part, please describe what Divine Sense does.
As an action, you can detect good and evil until the end of your next turn, or just in this moment. I can sense anything affected by the Hallow spell or the known location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet that's not behind total cover. And I can use it 4 times per long rest. So in this moment, I think that, Handsome, being scared that the beautiful maiden might hurt herself, took a moment to push her, put his arm in front of her and say, "But wait!" And then he opens up his Divine Sense, and here's the thing, his makeup had to be done for it because it's like shimmery, glittery. There's sort of like a fan from nowhere kind of cascades against his hair as it pushes back.
I feel
it's like
so
a Marilyn Monroe, though he has armor, there's Marilyn Monroe. It sort of billows out his armor and it
Sure.
breathes a little bit and it comes back down. So he cast Divine Sense.
And when you use Divine Sense, is it like a spidey sense for you? Is it you see things and you see a flash in your eyes? Is it like there is like almost like a sensor in your mind? How would you describe it?
It's a smell. It is the smell of a sweet woman's perfume. Something, it has a different sense of it. Yes, it might have rose. It might have a little like sandalwood. It might, have a hint of, hibiscus. It's whatever's really kissing his nose at that moment.
Weird. Okay.
That's weird, Gabe. That's weird.
That's weird.
That's the weird stuff. You get a scent of brimstone, which basically smells like farts if you don't know that.
Sulfur. Not.
Yep, brimstone is sulfur, which is basically just smells like farts. So
after you've eaten too many chicken nuggies.
Hell smells like farts. It's a weird thing.
Vegan nachos.
Exactly.
Yeah, vegan nachos for sure.
Moving on.
You get 20 different scents of brimstone that seem to emanate from the ground, and that will represent fiends for you. And you can, what are the types of creatures that you sense?
Celestials, fiends, and undeads.
You get a whiff of like old fruit, which we're going to use to represent undeads, and you smell that up towards the tree. You get 15 whiffs of that. Now, handsome, you know what? Make an intelligence check, make a perception roll for me, and then I'm going to move to Puss Puss for something, because I'm going to let you exist with that information.
Okay.
Can we say that as everyone was doing these checks, that Puss Puss has already walked up to the tree and tried to grab the fruit?
Oh God!
That's, I was just about to do the same thing, Gabe. Is like, while everybody's doing this, can I have a climb speed? So I was just gonna have him like climb up the tree and onto the branch as well.
Like, it's right there. Let's just grab it.
All right, yeah, Kelly, what'd you do? What's the?
The intelligence was 5 and the wisdom was 18.
Ooh, yep. Okay, so, what did I say? 15 of the moldy fruits.
15 above, 20 below. Yes.
Yes, 20 below, which seems like it's coming from the ground, and the 15 smells. Handsome isn't necessarily the smartest, but Handsome does notice things sometimes. You notice that there's 15 of those large grapes. And I think that's a great point for us to go to break before we figure out what happens to the two most brave characters that just walked right up to this tree.
Wow, no one's called me brave before.
I want to point out that no one has called out the fact that grapes don't grow on trees. So we're going to take a break and we will come back, and this is definitely going to be fine. Now, don't forget, you can donate to these characters. One of them is going to try to eat one of these things. I have accepted that. I have planned for it.
Oh, it's totally going to be me.
I have a chart for it.
Suffering.
Yeah, yes.
Cute. Really cute catchphrase for these grapes.
So cute. Super cute.
So we will be right back. Stay tuned. And please help them. Well,
Ooh.
last we left this lovely group of adventurers, one of them sensed 20 fiends under the ground and realized that the 15 maybe grapes
Grapes.
also have a scent of undead coming from them.
Grave grapes.
Oh,
Graves. No, never mind. I'm sorry.
They look delicious.
grave grapes.
Did I now? Can we see when Handsome casts Divine Sense? Is that something that has verbal or somatic components?
No, this is just a ability that he has. So he kind of just took a moment and took
Just,
like
like,
a deep
radiate
breath.
it?
Yeah, he like smelled in, smelled out. I was like, interesting. But before he could even get a word out.
Okay. So I assume Zell would notice that Red and Puss and Peggy are headed towards the grapes because she's
Oh no, Peggy's not.
not Peggy. Okay, just
Peggy's
Puss.
sitting by the entrance.
Okay.
And though he's climbing the tree, you can see that Red has a pair of gloves on that he didn't have on before he climbed the tree.
Handsome, is everything all right? You seem taken aback by what just happened.
I heard him say that he can't move his face very
No,
quickly
everything
because
is not
of
all right.
wrinkles.
Everything is not all right. Everything is not all. Oh, they're already at the tree.
All right. Well, I
Red,
say we
stop.
just watch to see what happens.
This is not good, everybody.
Red, stop.
What? Well, we need one though.
No, wait.
I got gloves on. I'm
Better
fine.
them than us.
No, I sense an incredible amount of danger. The ones above are some sort of undead. No. There's something. Yes, some undead energy, and from beneath.
Puss is already putting a grape in its mouth.
Puss!
Oh no!
Wait!
Oh.
See, I wasn't gonna do that.
It's got kind of a crunch to it on the inside. But you can like it looks like you know how like grapes have the stem? It's almost like as if the stem is partially inside of it and it's also white. Don't worry about that.
Why would you do that?
It's pretty good.
I don't know if you know this, but grapes don't grow on trees.
Or crunch.
Yeah.
They don't.
Are you
Red
all
will
right?
Pull one off.
Yeah, why wouldn't I be? I feel fine.
Make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Gladly.
Gabe, just to let you know, Red pops one off the tree and puts it in his pack.
Lovely.
That is an 18.
All right, so you take half damage from this. Puss takes.
How does it taste? Does it taste like a grape?
So I've never had a grape before, so I don't know.
Oh,
It's
Puss takes 16 points of necrotic damage.
So as he's about to take another bite, basically his jaw and mouth turn inside out, and it starts to push out from the front until like he unravels entirely into a pound of flesh on the ground that's still slightly squirming and twitching before disappearing entirely.
Like
It's just
poof?
a little puddle of ooze.
Yeah, but it's not like a smooth poof. It's like almost like a squelch that goes off before it disappears.
Horrifying.
Don't eat the grapes.
wait, what?
I mean, I don't believe I even have to say that, but don't
Yeah,
eat the
I
grapes.
wasn't gonna eat the grape.
Okay,
I'm
just
not-
get down.
I'm a
Get down, Red. Get down.
chemist. I understand this. Okay,
Great.
I'm coming down. I'm coming
I'm
down.
sorry, he just ate a grape.
I didn't eat it. I got one. I want to study it. I maybe turn it into something. We need one.
Oh, yeah. We
I
definitely
want
need one.
I'm just because I look like a just because I'm a I'm half red panda doesn't mean that I can't think.
I'm sorry, I did not mean to judge in any way by saying
Okay.
don't eat the grapes, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't think I'd have to tell someone to not eat the grapes, but then he just ate a grape and look what happened.
I appreciate you looking out for me.
And then Red looks over at Peggy.
Come here,
cat-
buddy.
the-
I'll carry you. Ah! This is why
Arches
you
her
cats don't
back.
Get along.
That's
I
so
was just trying to
sad.
help.
The cat seems fine.
Zell, maybe it'll respond better to you.
All right.
Okay, so we have a grape. Can we go now?
We just lost one of our adventurers. One of the important people of this journey is just gone, evaporated, and left behind his pitiful poor kitty who is just going to be lost. It's so sad. Oh my god, this
The
guy.
cat leaps onto Handsome's face and starts clawing.
Okay.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Okay. All right.
Oh gosh, she built character.
I will try to hold the cat. I will try to pull the cat off of Handsome and hold the cat. Peggy. Be calm. Is there anything you like? Peggy? I'll use my psionic powers to go inside the cat's head. Shh. We'll take care of you. We'll take care of you, Peggy.
How
We'll be
dare
fine.
you tell me how to act?
Was that in my head or was that spoken?
Dare you? It's in your head.
You all see Ned go.
Place me on the ground before your face meets a similar fate to Handsome.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were so eloquent.
You do not see greatness before you and recognize it. You are most unobservant.
Hey, Zell, what's your passive perception?
Let me check. Passive perception is it's 12. It's just 10 plus your perception, right?
And Nedrin, what's your passive perception?
11. Not great.
Oops.
I have a passive intelligence of 16.
No, smarts means nothing here.
Okay. I had to try.
Okay. No. We're all good. Go back to dealing with the cat.
Everyone, the cat seems quite intelligent and angry.
Oh wait, Handsome, what's your passive perception? Aren't you good at this?
Your powers of perception.
It's only 13.
no
actually.
bounds.
What's the
That
cat's
one
passive
everyone could
perception?
hear.
Wait, so the cat is now talking.
That one everyone could hear.
Well, look, we are in the
That's not
forest,
that
in the field of dreams, forest of dreams.
Wait.
So
Could you talk this entire time?
Of course I could.
What? All right. Well, listen. We
I
can
saw
deal
no point in it. After all, you were well equipped to deal with my familiar.
I really can't tell if this is real life or if this is just sort of like a walking leg situation.
Well, she
You
came in
wish
here
I were
with
merely
us,
a
though.
fantasy. My beauty knows no bounds.
What's the cat's passive perception?
Oh, let me see. 12.
And then what is Red's?
10.
Great.
None of us are very passively perceptive.
Ooh, very imperceptive party. Well, listen. We have a grape.
All right,
And
pull
I'll-
out the scroll.
I'll look at the grape again and say,
Oh.
suffering.
It. Oh wait, you're looking at it now.
Yeah, if Red, you've climbed down the tree.
I
yes.
put one in my pack.
It's
Oh,
a
okay.
bag. You gotta pull that out.
I know I'm not pulling that one.
That one's for me.
All right, we only need one, right?
Oh yeah, but I'm gonna study that thing. It turned it into a potion.
Wait, sir, you're saying we have to go get another one now?
Well, I thought that we had one, but then he ate it.
Oh,
Could you go get us another one,
God,
please?
I'll
Yes, of
go.
course. You
Thank
told
you.
me to get down from the tree.
I'm sorry.
He climbs back up the tree and grabs another one and climbs back down.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Peggy walks over to Zell and sits on her hindquarters and looks up at you, assessing. You are allowed to pet me. None of the rest of you have not earned it.
Fine.
She narrows her eyes and looks down at the cat and ignores her. Looks back up.
Meantime,
You have been offered a chance at greatness and have scorned it.
Could we please?
And she starts clawing your leg.
Okay. All right. suffering.
She kicks out at the cat. Hey, enough.
Could we please keep it together for just a few more moments before, we get out of this place of dreams and nightmares?
So I want to say, thank you to Grim Fated for the advantage. Lesbian Wolf, you are now my nemesis for the disadvantage. I have made a roll for something that is completely unrelated, and then you will know what it was later. You say suffering, and you hold this melon-sized grape. It starts to slosh and squish and swish, and you see it start to glow. Shiny 8-bit Boo, you're my favorite. I'll come back to that
Oh no. Oh no.
And don't worry, chat. My favorites change very quickly. I'm easily got.
Fickle
It starts to slosh and swirl, and you see it start to glow. And as you see it glow up close, you see what looks to be the skeleton of a pixie swirling around inside of this. What was it? What did you call it? Something. What was the grape phrase? Grape.
Oh,
That's
grape.
it. You see the skeleton of a pixie glowing and swimming around inside of this grape.
As he's like, his eyes are on this, he's pulling the scroll out and handing it to Zell. Zell, would you read this, please? Would you get us out of here,
Yes,
please?
certainly. So she begins to read the scroll.
Okay.
Everyone within 15 feet. Everyone.
The scroll that you pull out.
She would only do that if everyone was around, of course.
You pull the scroll out, and you notice that the color is off. It looks like there's a little straw.
Whoop. Gabe, Gabe, stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
No.
That's the Feywild.
This is different Gabe. This is E-bag, actually. This is reverse Gabe.
E-bag?
It's one of the worst
E-boy Gabe. My fears. My nightmares have come to fruition.
Yeah, E-bag.
You pull out a scroll that the color of the paper seems discolored. And instead of a ruby sort of color, it looks like there's a strawberry that was made to make the seal. This looks like a horribly made forgery that was then replaced in the bag. Because y'all don't have a very high passive perception.
What? Oh, good. Some little Feywild creature has taken the scroll. Who did it? Where are you?
You just say that?
Yeah, she says that.
Hell yes.
Who would dare steal from us? Reveal yourself.
Ned will put the grave grape away, like in his like pocket or in his pack or something like that. It's just sort of like, and get ready for something.
It's like my favorite holiday when I get to give gifts. So many gifts. You all see a lion-like figure with a humanoid body walk out behind the trees towards all of you, holding your scroll in its hands. But you notice something very peculiar. Its hands look backwards.
Oh, gross.
In what way do they look backwards, Gabe?
So instead of it like this, it's almost like this, and they're folded back.
Ow!
Fingers.
Oh, hello. Zell addresses her very politely.
And they just bow their head in a large, toothy grin.
Zell gives her most charming, beautiful smile back at this creature and says, pleased to make your acquaintance. Might I have that scroll back? We needed to get home, and we're in quite a hurry.
Trade. And they put out a long claw that is about 3-4 inches long. And it almost seems like as they do a beckoning, gesturing motion, it elongates as if it's a blade reaching out that then comes inwards, ever so slightly.
Can I roll an insight check on this creature? Just in terms of the spidey senses tingling, if this is a more valuable scroll that I might have in my hands?
Absolutely. And you have a disadvantage thanks to not Gabe. Don't know who that is.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome to our fan base, Gabe. Welcome to our fan base.
I think it might be Gabe.
Oh,
It
no.
says not Gabe. You can't prove that.
Oh, man. Why? Man, all of my, I guess I put all of my double skills in the wrong place for this character today.
Insight checks.
10.
10. It might be. Or it's really hard to tell. I mean, okay, so do you go ahead and open the scroll with the strawberry seal?
Yeah, before she hands it back, she will further inspect the scroll, if it doesn't seem like that's going to throw off or offend the creature who she's talking to.
It doesn't seem like it. You open the scroll, and on the pages, you see the words, "Once was twice, twice was more. Eat it whole to the core."
Once was twice, twice was more.
Once was twice, twice was more. Eat it
Whole
to the core.
And here's a very important question. Do you only think that? Or do you say it out loud?
Well, first she reads it to herself.
Mm-hmm.
And then looks back up at this creature. And because her insight check isn't really giving her a read on this creature, she doesn't know what's going on with it. She's going to probe a little bit further and begin to whisper the words out loud.
I love role-playing so much.
And she's making eye contact with this creature as she does it. She's looking up from the scroll to see what they do.
Loud enough so that we can hear what you're saying?
Maybe if you're standing close enough, but it's probably at this level, quietly.
Gabe, anything come to mind in Arcana or Nature on this creature? Anything familiar to Red?
You know, if any of you are proficient in history, Arcana, or religion, I will let you make a check and roll on this creature.
Can I have advantage because I'm a cat?
And it's a valid question.
I will say yes, but your past decisions, which is the username that's there, has given you disadvantage, so it will be a straight roll.
One
your
of the
past
best.
decisions is a hilarious name for this.
One of the best.
One of the best. Any advantage or disadvantages for me, Gabe?
I'm also rolling with disadvantage on religion.
You have your past decisions gave you advantage, but Shiny 8-Bit Boo is the one to blame for why you have a disadvantage. So that is a straight roll for you,
Thank
Ron.
you, guys. Appreciate it.
That is an 11.
Okay. And then, yeah, Shiny 8-Bit Boo gave you disadvantage as well, Kelly. They definitely didn't give me the ability to pick where these went, and I don't know how that happened.
Yes, only 11 in religion.
11? Oh, no.
21.
I hate
Arcana.
you.
Arcana. The intelligence skills, man. I'm good at them.
Make you fight a boulder. I joked about it.
No.
Now I'm serious.
I do have a lot of acid, though, so.
It's an acid boulder. Shut up, Ron.
Now
We're
it's an
planning
acid
for
bowl.
next session.
You can guess that this is a powerful magical creature. You have read about this. A Rakshasa.
Yeah, Red just sort of goes,
What's
Do what it
wrong?
says. Just do what it says.
Here. I
Trade
will
what?
give you back your scroll on one condition.
Fine.
What is that?
Take this back with you. And they pull out a little golden beetle.
Okay.
Who would like it?
Is it alive or is it a statue?
It looks like it's just made of solid gold.
I'll take it, and I will investigate it as I'm looking at it. I will. Ned will approach and just very daintily, with long blue fingers, grab it.
Ned, if you need some tinkerer to look at it, just let me know.
It runs around your hand almost in circles. And then I need you to make a strength saving throw, Nedrin. And you also have disadvantage from not Gabe.
Not good at strength saving throws,
Can
guys.
Peggy walk up in front of the Rakshasa and look up and go, I don't think there's room for the both of us here.
Red sidesteps.
It's an 8 on a strength saving throw.
Sidesteps 1 foot towards Handsome. Sees if anybody notices.
I'm going to come back to that because that's going to be interesting. This creature, it doesn't feel painful, but it looks like it starts burrowing into your hand and then disappears, Nedrin. And it almost heals over immediately.
Well,
good.
Looks like we don't have a choice now, do we? So I suppose we should get that scroll from you now.
Do I feel different?
Not yet. And Puss, you look up at this Rakshasa.
Puss is dead.
And say that.
There is only Peggy.
There's only.
Oh my God, that's
only
right,
me.
Peggy, God. It looks down to you, Peggy.
Yes.
And what are you going to do about it?
So at that moment, Peggy sniffs, and then this cloud of swirling magical energy starts to whirl around her, sparkles and shines. And then standing there is a 5'6" human with fluffy cat ears, long curly peach colored hair, tan skin, wearing this white silk gown. Anything I want, my dear.
Are you hitting on me? This is what's happening.
I wasn't, but now I'm curious if I should.
No, take the score. This is
What was the bug?
a gift for a friend. For the one who gave me life, so to speak.
I think we need to know how that bug is going to come out of our dear Nedrin here.
Thank you.
I'm not concerned about that, really. I just want to know what it was.
Who said it was going to come out?
Red
How will I know this friend?
tugs on Handsome's cloak.
I'm down here.
Oh, sorry. I was looking around. I just
First session,
noticed-
working on communication.
What? Red? What?
That's a demon.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And all of you see little imps pulling their way out of the ground.
Could we have that scroll now, please?
20 of them, very slowly. Sure. Have fun.
I don't like this one.
Balur Dekar. Does anyone speak Abyssal?
Oh, I
I forgot to
do.
take languages. Whoops.
No,
I
do
speak
not.
Abyssal.
I do not.
That's great. All of you hear this, and you're unable to figure out what this says. Zell, you hear the nightmares are escaping. And it hands over the scroll, specifically to you, Zell, as it sees recognition in your eyes when it speaks.
I will speak back in Abyssal and say, and am I to be responsible for these nightmares that we bring back, or do I just leave them to their own devices?
Then there's an even wider grin. No. You are not responsible. You are more like... You are the grass that grows next to a burning house. All you can do is watch and exist. So please, enjoy the show.
I didn't understand a word of that, but I don't like your tone.
Everything sounds fine to me. I think we should go.
Yeah, Ned is looking down at the fiends climbing out of the grass. Yes, I think we should leave now.
So
Red
Zell...
climbs up handsome and sits on his shoulder.
Let's move back towards...
Okay.
So is the creature taking...
Stop squirming.
Is the creature taking the other scroll from Zell, or is the agreement that now we have the beetle, so we're just taking everything?
I was monologuing to myself. Now you have the beetle, so you're taking everything.
Everything. Okay.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
Now,
Yes.
here's the fun thing. I need all of you to roll It's Not What You Think initiative one more time.
Uh-oh.
And Peggy, your past decisions have given you disadvantage.
In so many ways.
I have not gotten a single advantage in anything. Almost every roll has been disadvantaged. What is going on?
I think our GM is what's going on.
Shiny
one.
8-Bit Boo has also given you disadvantage.
Thank you, Shiny 8-Bit Boo.
Thank you.
Thank you to Gabe in Texas for giving me advantage.
Wait, so was that a second disadvantage for me as well after this?
No, the second one is for Morgan.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
I rolled a 1. Plus
Even
4.
with disadvantage, I got a 15 for an 18.
17.
8.
So this is something fun that I like to do, especially for moments like this. Basically, only one of you really needed to beat me so that you could activate the scroll. But I rolled an 18.
18, so 2 18s.
Tied.
I also rolled an 18.
Oh.
Who's dexterity
Disgusting.
modifier?
What's your dex bonus?
My dex is 16, so plus 3.
Mm-mm.
Come on!
I like little fast things.
Wait
Yeah,
a minute.
I will end you.
Initiative is technically an ability check.
Did you
so
roll with this? You rolled with disadvantage,
I
right?
did, and I rolled a 16 and a 15. And since initiative is technically an ability check, I can use my psionic powers to roll a d6 to increase it.
I hate you.
I love this.
The 3 for a 21. So basically, if it looks like we're about to move at the same time.
I'm talking to my friends. Chat. I would like to talk to all of you about what is going to happen next time. We have seen that Morgan is a great individual. These are very talented role players. Ron is incredibly smart. Sephi is too dang clever for her own good. Jess definitely has made reasonable choices that have worked against me. Kelly's great because Handsome's an idiot. The next episode of this show, I really want you to dig deep and make them suffer.
Oh my god!
I will put them through the gauntlet. I will get into the Discord, and if you haven't joined the Discord, join the Discord. We will plot against them, and I will let all of you pick vote on the idea of what a monster is going to be. So all of you know what it is, and they just won't.
There are rooms in the Discord that we as the cast can't see.
This is interactivity on a new level.
In many ways.
I feel very attacked right now.
Don't
That's
it'll
fair.
get worse. It'll get worse.
We'll be more attacked later. That's what he's saying.
In many ways, I am a person who solely sticks to my morals. You can bribe me here. Anyways, so great. Yeah. You go before the imps who are going to shoot you through full of thorns. You notice the imps look like they were like a little bit more armored in their bodies and a little strange. They resembled like tiny demon pangolins. It's moderately concerning when you look at them even closer.
Tiny demon pangolins is the scariest thing I've ever heard.
Morgan, this is episode 1. I got plenty. Baby.
True story. I was this close to being a pangolin rather than a red panda, so I'm glad I didn't go pangolin.
Disappointing. We can make it better. So you are able to activate this scroll. And thankfully, all of you are close enough to each other. A swirl of mist and light encompasses all of you, and you find yourself almost thrown back into that room where you all were before. You see Keon in the corner speaking to that large statue figure with the coffin in their back. The statue is actually moving and interacting with him. And you see 2 floating specters behind them that as soon as all of you appear, move, whirl, and speed into the coffin, which slams shut. And the portal closes behind all of you. And you're safely back in the Bastion, which in reality, Gabe is actually very happy about. If you would have gotten stuck there, it would have been really, really bad. So I'm damn glad all of them made it back safely. I'm not a terrible person.
Sincerity seems questionable.
Yeah. Gabe is happy. Rakshasa? That's irrelevant. You all find yourself safely back in the Bastion. With the grape.
Everyone's all right. Everyone's all right, except Puss, obviously. But
Are
everyone's
you
all right.
okay? We gotta get this thing out of you. Let me see your hand.
Yeah, here.
I'm going to start. I'm going to detect magic first, Gabe.
How does your detect magic manifest?
It manifests in like colors. Just think of it like a impressionist painting.
You see a couple colors. One, it's very strange. The idea of light and color from the grape that is in your bag, it's almost like there is a burst of shadow, as if light was manifesting instead as a void that is expanding out. And when you look past that and you look at Nedrin's hand, you see what looks to be a swirl of yellows and oranges, almost making different shapes and symbols, as if you're looking at a light show going across someone's hands.
And it's just in his hand, it's not moving around?
Exactly.
Okay.
What?
Well,
so typically the colors relate to schools of magic. Do I get it as I concentrate longer? I assume shadow is probably necromancy.
Yeah.
Is yellow adjuration?
I was very excited. You see, so yellow is actually transmutation.
Okay.
You see transmutation, and you also see evocation,
which is orange.
Yes.
Okay.
Quick question.
Yes, please.
Does anything else in the room besides those trigger? Because detect magic does everything in the room, including people. Just want to put that out there.
You had
a reason.
I was going to. Thank you. I was going to say more beyond that, but yeah, thank you.
You had to ask a reasonable question.
Necromancy, transmutation, and evocation in your hand.
That's a potent
Not
cocktail.
good.
No.
Yeah. It's not moving though, it's stationary.
It's right there.
Centralized to your hand, yes.
Okay.
And then he'll look over at Kion.
Keon. Yeah.
Ooh,
Keon, excuse me, yes.
It's
Keon.
It's kind of like a laser light show.
Oh.
Whoa! Owie!
The statue has a glow of abjuration. The coffin is glowing with the shade for necromancy. The book that Keon has at his waist looks like it is an assortment of rainbow colors. You see magic of all different
Like,
shapes.
I can assume like spell books do.
Yep, exactly.
Ned is doing this strange thing where he's holding the hand that the beetle climbed into and just holding it out in front of him and using his other hand to get the grape out of his pack. And he will walk up to the table and just put the grape on the table.
And the colors in the grape?
The color in the grape is what the shadow was.
Yeah, just necromancy. Okay, got it.
Yep.
Got it. Yeah, got it.
Keon,
Yes.
mission accomplished.
What the hells is that?
That's your grape. And there's something else.
That's not a grape. It's like a melon.
Well, suffering.
And then it glows. Oh, that's horrible.
Good enough?
Why? Yep. Ugh. And you see him like do a wave of his fingers, and then what looks to be almost like a skeletal looking mage hand lift up the grape, and it's holding it in the way that we hold things that we actually don't want. And it's
Okay,
like
fine.
moving it around, and he's like very carefully moving it over towards a box that he has in the corner. And he hovers it down into the box, has the skeletal bony mage hand close the lid, and then it locks the lid. Well done. 1, 2, 3, 4.
We're minus a puss.
Gabe,
But-
Red looks at Peggy.
You will give me payment for both me and Puss Puss. She's still in humanoid form, but she was just
Right.
licking herself and doing that. Yep.
Do any of you in the party glow? Do you have any magical effects that glow on you?
No.
I assume Peggy would.
Yes,
Okay.
you
Because of
were
the
a
shifting.
cat, and now you're.
probably transmutation.
Right. That's what I
And
assumed.
an enchantment. Enchantment reeks off of her.
Oh, that makes sense now. Oh,
Definitely me as well. You know,
Right,
I have my gifts, and so you'd probably sense a few of those evocations and things like that.
The school of handsome magic.
Yes, of course.
This is-
Radiant, I assume, a lot of radiant.
This is
Well,
detect
just-
magic.
The school of
Yeah.
handsome magic.
What about you,
Oh,
Zell?
man.
If it's detect magic, I don't know that would detect anything about her.
Said
No
very
magical things on you?
Loaded.
Like you don't have a spell
statement.
book or...
No spell book.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
well,
There was something else.
Y'all are suspect.
Keon, there was a. What was it called?
Rakshasa.
A
What?
Rakshasa.
Yeah, they're pure evil.
What?
Yes. Tall, big guy, lion, backwards,
Not attractive at all.
backwards
Lots of-
hands.
Lots of imps and methods.
Not even a little bit.
A
Yes, I can actually
Rakshasa
agree with that. Very ugly.
That looks like
yes.
a lion.
Correct.
Yeah, and his
Peggy
hands were
shudders.
backwards. His hands were backwards.
He seemed to know what we were there for, which was pretty unsettling.
He said something weird to Zell. What did he say, Zell?
You mean when they spoke another language?
Yes. And you spoke it back.
Right.
Yes, well, I was just sort of checking to see if everything was going to go all right, and it seems it would.
What did he say to you?
You dodged the question.
Just the nightmares are escaping.
Oh, just that.
You see Keon's face go fairly pale.
going to be a problem.
He also gave me a golden beetle about yay big that
It
climbed.
has necromancy and transmutation and evocation. It's in
And
his hand.
It entered the skin of my hand and seems to be staying there. He said it was for a friend.
Now, I think that we would most certainly be open and willing to investigating the situation for you should you have more payment on the way.
A lot more payment.
Also,
And Red pulls out the other grape.
I wonder what I can make out of this. Do you have any lab equipment?
One thing at a time.
Oh, sorry. I get distracted easily.
It's all right.
I'm so excited.
You all notice that Keon hasn't moved in about 30-40 seconds.
Say something, Keon. We're very concerned.
And at that second, the air starts to taste a little bit more stale. You notice that the world seems to now be in more of a pigment of gray around each of you. And the beetle crawls its way out of your hand, and I need each of you to make a saving throw. But here's the fun part. This creature is feeding off each of your weaknesses. So I need you to roll a saving throw using your lowest ability modifier.
Cool.
Love
that.
Bad. It's bad. Bad.
Thank you.
Exclamation of joy. Man, come on.
Do we have any
guy.
advantages or disadvantages for this?
Everybody's got a straight roll.
Okay, cool.
Gah.
Gabe, I'm going to use the special feature of, the infused armor that I have called Magical Strength, Armor of Magical Strength. When I make a strength check or saving throw, which just happens to be my lowest, I can expend one charge out of the 4 that it has to add the bonus equal to my intelligence modifier. So I'm going to spend one charge and add my intelligence modifier to the roll.
How did you take such a negative thing into a positive?
That's right.
I might have min-maxed a little.
Panda power.
I'm going to go around in a circle and ask each of your numbers. And Sephi, I'm going to ask you last because that was either joy or terror, and I'm not personally prepared for which one it's going to be.
Something.
We're going to start with Morgan. What did you get?
A 2 on a strength save.
Love that. Zell.
14 on also strength.
Okay, that's not bad. Handsome.
12 on intelligence.
No! How dare you?
Red.
Well, I rolled a 12, but I get -1 for my strength, so it's 11, but then I get to add my intelligence modifier, which makes it a 15.
And then Peggy.
-1.
Whoa!
It was a nat 1 and it became worse.
And it was yes.
-2.
So everyone, as characters, you're still able to speak, but Nedrin, Peggy, and Handsome, you find yourselves restrained by shadows that seem to have wrapped themselves around your body and then solidified in a almost... Think of when people get a full body cast done, they wrap themselves in tape. This is shadow tape. It's tried to do the same to Zell and Red, but you were able to shake your way out of it. And this beetle, it crawls out and scurries down your arm, Nedrin. And Red, here's a fun thing. Make a sleight of hand roll for me as you are holding this grape out in the open, pointing it towards Keon.
Ooh. Do I have advantage, disadvantage?
Nope.
Okay. That is a 19.
This is my new favorite die.
Can I borrow that die?
Quick
use my
question.
new glow in the dark today.
Yes.
Are our
Stephanie.
faces covered?
No,
Cool. Can I do something before this happens?
I will sure as heck let you try.
Okay. So as she's getting like wrapped up in this like shadow cast, Peggy will dart her gaze to the beetle, and like a glow will come out of her pupils, which are peach colored. The pupils literally are peach colored. And the creature needs to make a wisdom saving throw as I use hypnotic gaze.
Nice.
Torture.
Mm-hmm.
For listeners at home, Gabe is thinking.
Buffering.
We'll insert the ticking later.
Ooh, okay. That is an 11.
Fails.
So
the result of that, mechanically, I don't know what you're gonna do, but the charmed creature's speed drops to 0. The creature is incapacitated and visibly dazed. And I can use my action to maintain this effect on subsequent turns, so basically, as long as I don't have to do anything else, I can keep this effect going. There is no re-roll saving throw at the end of anything. So.
Oh, this is enchantment wizard, right?
Yeah.
Right.
here's what makes this interesting. You shoot your gaze towards this beetle. You're following it, and it doesn't seem like it stops moving. With your knowledge of magic, you realize the beetle itself is not a creature, but what it does do is shoot directly into the grape. And you see the creature inside the grape start to wiggle and writhe. But then it just stops. And you can see 2 glowing blue flame eyes in the skeletal head of this pixie staring at you as it slowly starts to reach its hand out and then freezes. And all of you, the shadows fall across your body and then they fall away. And right now, Peggy, thanks to you, for now, this figure, this creature, this thing inside this grave grape is immortalized. Well, excuse me, immobilized.
Smash it. Should we smash it?
We should talk.
I was
where's
thinking-
I will
Ryan?
smash it with a hammer!
No, wait. So
Wait,
speak to the
Let the
person.
big guy do it.
Yes, talk to the one who has, a little bit of book with power and all that good stuff.
Kion, should we smash this?
What is it?
It's a beetle and a grape.
It's a trap.
The beetle is in the grape.
Yeah, see the blue eyes?
Ned is like reading Keon's face and just seeing cluelessness. It's like, handsome, smash it.
Here.
And Red throws it on the ground at Handsome's feet.
Smash it.
Zell backs up.
Okay, and
Zell
I cast
backs up.
Divine Smite. I cast Divine Smite. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna use Radiant Damage. What's happening? But I
Zell's
don't
on the
want
other
to-
side of the room.
Peggy is not blinking. Not even a little bit.
Yes, so I rolled a hit for Divine Smite on the thing. Yeah, let's do it.
Roll
Dump it
with
all in.
advantage because
Yes.
it is. Wait, is it?
It's incapacitated, yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. With advantage, that will give me 2 hit. Let me see. My weapon.
Come
That's
on,
a 19 to hit.
You gorgeous himbo. Come on.
Kiss me! Kiss me! It'll give me a higher roll.
That hits. Go ahead, roll damage.
Yes. Okay, great. So for just traditional damage here, let me.
What do you?
Roll
Is it a
this-
sword or a
Yes,
hammer?
it's
What
a
is it?
long
Okay.
sword.
Nice,
It's a long
nice.
sword, but I am casting that extra dommage of Divine Smite and all that good stuff. So that's
yeah.
just a solid 6 for the normal sort of power, and then with the divine smite, you get divine energy, and I get to roll extra ones. Okay, and that'll be an extra 9 damage of radiant damage.
Okay. This is fine. You slash through this grape like it is nothing.
Fruit ninja.
And as this radiant damage goes through almost like a secondary slash, you hear what sounds like a shriek, a squeal, almost like water and steam are boiling over. And then it starts going into a cackling. And then a bellowing
Guffaw?
lion-like roar. You know, I thought I'd have been stuck in that thing much longer. It's much nicer to not be trapped in a prison of dreams. And then the sound of wind howling. And it dissipates. And this thing falls into ash on the ground. But you still have another grape, right?
Does Zell know what that? Do any of us know what that was?
That sounded like the voice of the Rakshasa.
Yep.
Okay.
So did the Rakshasa come through because of the slashing, or was it the creature that I actually hypnotic gazed?
The nightmares are escaping.
Like, do we know? Because if it was the thing and it was like coming out of there, wouldn't the hypnotic gaze still affect it?
Make a Arcana check for
Cool.
me.
Let's see.
Oh, man. Gosh, us, man.
That's a 19.
So your gaze was affecting a creature, and
We killed that creature.
let's say that the beetle was more of a spell effect to transport a vessel.
Okay.
So it's like a vehicle would be a vehicle and not a creature until the person gets out of the car, and then they get out of the car.
Okay, so what creature did the effect then, if it wasn't the Rakshasa?
The pixie,
The pixie.
Okay.
the
Cool.
skeletal pixies inside of it.
All right.
That's what was frozen because it was gonna do some bad stuff.
You said it, and then it sounded like after it said what it said, it dissipated.
Mm-hmm.
Can I, again, just look around and see if feel like it's still here?
I'll tell you above. It doesn't feel like the air seems to lose its stagnant feeling and its opaque view.
Are those shadows gone and the sort of the grayscale that you described? Is that sense gone as well?
Seems like everything is back to normal.
And none of us have encountered anything like this before, this type of magic, this type of experience.
No, it seems very foreign.
Kyan, this seems kind of difficult for 1 gold. From what you just experienced and seen and heard, it's 1 gold piece for something quite as... this is crazy.
Look, I thought it was a grape. I thought you just had to get a grape. This is not
Kyan, look at me. Look at me.
Who are you?
I am Peggy.
She's Peggy.
A powerful Peggy.
Actually, you don't deserve to call me Peggy. The full name is Margaret.
Oh, how did you get there from Peggy?
I don't know. It's just a thing that's actually true. It actually is a thing in the real world. I don't know why. Anyway. You sent us on what was supposed to be a simple fetch mission, and instead put us in danger in a plane of nightmares and dreams. we require more payment because of that. You put us all in grave danger.
All right, I'll see if I can swing for something more.
You'll see, or you will do.
I will see. The more you all get paid, the more I get paid. Believe me, I care about that.
Perhaps the more important question, who is it that wants that thing? And I'm pointing over to the box where he put the first grape. Who's the client?
Some weird, eccentric lover of antiquities named Ansev.
Ansev. That's,
Are they the one that told you this information about this grape, or did you receive that information from a different source?
Yes, they're
incorrect.
the one.
We may need to have a conversation with this Ansev.
I'll see if I can arrange a meeting. Every time I met with them, it was only twice. They were wearing a strange hood and cloak and seemed very secretive but very excited.
And you thought trustworthy, let's do a job for them.
I thought money.
I mean, that's a valid point. Money.
Perhaps you should exercise some more caution with the clients you take.
That is probably accurate.
Natural. This is your fault, not ours. We can't be blamed for this.
This Rakshasa, have you ever come across anything like this before, Keon?
The last Rakshasa that I came across, it took 4 wizards stronger than myself to deal with that creature, and that was just sending it back to the hells, because killing it was a temporary solution. It needed to be banished. Or else
They're pure evil.
People say that about a lot of cats, but I just don't know why.
No, I mean, this one's more literal rather than figurative.
Okay. And Keon pulls out a pouch and hands each of you 2 gold. Take my share.
I mean,
You've earned it.
Fine. Peggy will put the coins on the ground, and then there's a big poof of magic, and she's a cat again, and she just starts rubbing her face against the gold and just purring, just.
That looks fun.
You know, I want to be an adventurer as much as the next one, but I also don't want to be creating more adventures than need to be out. You know what I'm saying? I kind of have this thing about me in general where I like to do good things. At least that's what I'm trying to do. And I feel
save
it's
damsels in
uncomfortable.
distress.
Well, yes, that's the blatant thing in all the books that I've looked at.
Mhm.
Yes, I have not read them. Pictures tell beautiful stories, but that's not the point.
I find most damsels can save themselves. Also, weren't you supposed to protect my puss?
Perhaps, but to be honest with you, this is the thing that I'm destined to do. That's why I don't know my real name.
Well, you failed, and now my puss is destroyed.
In Handsome's defense, your puss was really made some very poor decisions. Sorry, Handsome, did you say?
You don't know your real name.
Yes, what?
Yes, no, I was raised with a band of adventurers, raised with the mission to do what I do.
You're not royalty.
No, by no means. I was very poor. Just raised with this attitude and this mission.
We do one thing at a
You're good looking.
Thank you.
I might be a little bit less of my ex than I thought.
Well, there's a lot to unpack there. Keon, can we go? Is there anything else you need from us?
Did you all give Keon a solid grape? Because
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So because you did have 2, so you made
Yes.
you did give him the 1.
Right. Mine's gone. He
Right.
still has his.
Got it.
Is Keon holding the grape?
No, you put it in a box.
Yeah,
Oh,
he put
that's
it
right.
in a box.
The
in
first thing he
corner.
did. Okay.
Yep. All right.
We've got our 2 gold. Thank you very much.
I will deliver this, and then I will make an attempt. I will organize a meeting so you can speak to this Hansev.
Perhaps you should not go alone if this Ansev is as untrustworthy, and plan
Peggy
for this
makes a good point.
Rakshasa to get out.
Peggy makes a good point.
I always make good points.
Yep. So far, so good.
True. Okay. And all of you slowly start to make your way out of the room. And on Kian, it's not a catch-22. They're not the same person. Kian looks to the box, and you see him forming a name in his head. And he casts a spell designed to deliver something to its target. And then the camera pans out of the Bastion, traveling miles and miles away, to a figure sitting underneath a rotting apple tree. And the box appears at their feet. The figure leans forward, and a rotting, decrepit hand reaches out to open up the box and open the lid. And the camera pans in front, and all of you see a figure with a skeletal face on the right side, the left side to be disgusting, decaying flesh, and one eye missing. Ansev, or to others, well, maybe you can figure out who he is. And I think that'll be a great place for our adventurers to take their rest tonight, because who knows what dangers will await next time on Fortune and Fate. May the rolls be in their fortune, or you can give them disadvantages and make it more fun for me.
Yeah.
So
Just succumb to fate.
Let's go around one more time with this delightful, incredible, incredibly creative cast. Jokes aside, you all are astounding role players, very clever. You definitely circumvented some things accidentally. I was very proud of you. Little sad, but very proud of you.
Looking at you, Puss Puss.
What? I didn't do anything.
There it is.
What?
So
Wait,
let's-
we
yeah,
can't
let's-
lose Puss Puss.
Let's go around. Well, you know what? Let's lead. Not gonna say that. Let's lead with our Peggy. Who's gonna use the
What, don't want to read, don't want to go with Puss Puss? You don't want to lead with your Puss Puss first?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Hi, everybody. I'm Persephone, aka Persephorath, and I was Peggy and Puss Puss today. I hope you enjoyed the role play and that everything was fun. You can follow me at Persephorath everywhere. That's PERSEPHIRTH. I do a lot of Twitch streaming, and I'm pretty heavily involved in the tabletop scene. So yeah. Oh, and also check out Shakar every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
Hell yeah. And then let's bring it on to the most handsome member.
Hello, everybody. I am Kelly Lynn D'Angelo. I am not handsome. Beautiful extension of a character. I know, it's crazy. I mean, I'm handsome in my own way. Well, we'll talk about that another day.
Indeed.
You're all handsome too if you're watching. If you'd like, you can follow me on Twitter. I generally just like shouting things out into the void, but it's fun and it's like my personal journal. I'll unpack that another day. On top of that, I create a lot of content and, musical world on live stream world. So just follow for all this fun, this bundle of fun. Nothing else more specific than that. Very generic.
Now, let's bring it over to Jess. Jess, I want to say there's a lot that you stopped happening.
I don't have to apologize for anything.
There's a lot that you stopped happening with questions that you asked.
Oh, that's not what I was expecting you to say.
Fascinating.
No, you did.
Huh.
You unironically did a good job with some of your curiosities, and it circumvented some rules, which I'm really proud of. You did a great job.
I'm gonna rewatch the episode and keep that in mind.
You'll if you notice
Learn
sometimes
his
when you said
style.
something, like my eyes got a little big, or I was like scribbling out some notes that didn't happen. Yeah. So please, Jess.
Hi everybody, you know who I am. I'm Jess. I normally play Fahima on the Heroes of Bingle campaign. You can follow me at Jessica Lynn Parsons on Instagram or Jessica Parsons on Twitter. I also stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays on my own Twitch channel at twitch.tv/ohheyjess. And all that's all of our handles are in the Command FF cast.
They are.
Then, Ron. Red so red is multicolored, right?
Yes. Oh yeah, for sure.
Like a red panda.
White,
his
white,
bottom
black, red, like orange, red. Undercut, like his belly is white. It's like a white fur on his belly. His back. So if you think of it, it's like the half of him that's the backside is all like red, orangey red, like a like red, like my hair, like my beard, especially when it's longer. And then his hands, the part around his face, that's all black, and then everything else is white.
Amazing. So Ron, tell us about you, the things that you're doing, what you're up to.
Yeah. Hi. You guys know me. I'm Ron. You can find me all over the internet where you find people on the internet at The Real Rogden, especially on TikTok lately. I've been doing a lot of stuff there. I do also have a Kickstarter coming in April. So if you want to, it will be a 5e playable advent calendar. So if you'd like to get on that, dungeonsociety.com.
That's amazing. And let's bring it around to Morgan, the one who was you were my lovely vessel. Thank you for being that gift for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, for as high intelligence as Ned has, I don't know about reaching out for that gold beetle right away. We'll unpack that later. He also likes getting the job done, so he's like, "You need that? All right, fine. Let's get out of here." Hi, everybody. I'm Morgan Peter Brown. Yes, here on the Dungeon Run, as you know us as well. But you can find me at Morgan Pete Brown on Twitter. You can find us here doing the Heroes of Bingle next week. We're back for episode 111. Very excited because there's so much to unpack. And
I want to meet Lord Araban. I hope he shows up.
It's gonna happen.
The long-awaited mind flare.
But yes, and you can find me at Morgan Pete Brown on Twitter or Morgan Peter Brown on pretty much everywhere else. And Gabe,
Who are you?
After you, who are you, Gabe? And don't by the way, don't worry, Patreon folks. We've got one more thing coming after Gabe is finished, but please, Gabe.
Hi, I'm Gabe Hicks, Gabe James Games across the internet. I am known by many names. I'm known as the Tumblr Unicorn Man. If you know that, great. If you don't go looking. You won't find it, I promise you. I have worked on the Dark Souls tabletop role-playing game. I have written for Pathfinder. I worked on Critical Role's Ukatoa. I was DM on Dimension 20 Shriek Week. I worked on Flames of Freedom. I'm the creative producer for Roll20. I don't know, I get bored sometimes, so I do stuff. It has been an absolute pleasure to be your storyteller and DM today, and I am looking forward to next time so that we can work together against them.
And just for scheduling, now this is obviously been our premiere of Fortune and Fate. We will be back in April with more episodes, so stay tuned for the calendar. We have so much more in store with all of these lovely faces and some other lovely faces as well. But here on the Dungeon Run, as we mentioned at the top, we are basically, we are... Patreon is responsible for us in many ways. You
did this, Patreon.
Yeah, basically. So we are powered by Patreon, and one of our amazing perks that some of our high-level Patreon people get is they get to hear us read their names out at the end of the show in a style of your all's choosing. So this is what we do now.
And we're not going to make our guests do it, right?
I mean, they can chime in if they want to.
Okay, if you want to just like pop in with a yes and.
Okay, now you should all have the list. We have the list of our names. We're going to do Team Force of Good first. Okay, thank
Are you gonna use the cast die?
Okay. Well, the cast die doesn't really work right now because there's a bunch of us. Okay, so the team force of good first. We are going to read the team force of good. Now, Jessica, I think maybe actually hang on.
We can just call it out, yeah.
Okay. Ron.
Yeah.
Give me team force of good as a parent trying to explain the plot of a strange new kids show that their child has been watching.
Okay. All right. Oh, I have been watching this new show called Sloppy Goat's Bakery.
Oh, yeah. It's on Amazon. Yeah.
Look, Hadrian X, my son, as you know.
Right. Great name.
I know. It's look, we like space. I don't know what to tell you. They cannot stop watching this thing. So look, it stars Just Jules, which is a little figurine man made of diamonds. I don't ask me why.
Oh yeah, my little Wilbro Jr. loves that character.
We should have a play date sometime.
Oh, I would love to.
I'll invite Bob Harris. He can bring the kids.
I really like the song that character sings. It's like a cover of Rihanna's Diamond, but really high pitched.
Wait, where does the bakery come in? I'm lost already.
Well, so they all live in a beaker par.
I don't know what that is, but keep going.
Think of it. It's kind of like a bar, but they can't say bar because it's a kid show. So
right,
it's a beaker par,
sure.
And it's in the middle of a region called Idakai.
Okay.
It's long history thing with jewels and gems and stones and magic.
Why couldn't it just stay in Minnesota? I don't understand these places.
I don't. Yeah. Well, there was a Minnesota, but then the person was like, "I'm going to be a desert wanderer," and decided to go to Arizona, and then they turned into a Hyperboy 66. That's their superhero name. So they speed around a lot, and they're like the arch nemesis of Just Jules, who's the little diamond person.
Right.
I'm
Right,
still
so-
confused as to where the cactus came in, though.
Yeah.
Well, that's
okay.
right. So that's Fendaril. And so Fendaril, Fendaril is kind of like half angel, half devil, but also a son. So
Full
it's like
cactus,
an angel devil son.
Angel devil son, right.
An angel devil son. And
Sounds
then
like Buffy. Okay.
it does,
Yeah, no,
right. But the thing is,
My favorite character is IR Mookow.
right. So they have a sidekick. His name is IR Mookow. And together, Just Jules, Fendaril, IR Mookow, and Angel Devilson, they're known as the Gold Family.
Oh, like Succession. Okay, I'm following. I'm following.
They are being watched in the heavens by two angels, Serathi and Braba. And they're also being watched by two devils, Kitty Scritches, and a weird devil named Armando 89. We don't know. We think he's maybe like 89 devils in one, and he just likes to call himself Armando. That's how he says it all the time.
I think it was
He's
an
like,
interesting
"I am
design
Armando."
decision to make Bray Bra just an actual giant floating bra.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Very, very creative.
what I understand, and the reason I
uncomfortable.
love this show, it's all over the place. It's freaking chaos. But I love this show because they teach your kids about your past decisions.
Wait, they teach them about my past decisions?
No, about their past decisions and the impact it has
I
on
learn a lot
on the
from
world.
children's shows.
Yeah, me too.
So basically, it's weaponized trauma. It's great.
Yes.
It's great.
Yes.
Aren't all
Exactly.
shows really? I still haven't heard a mention of a bakery, though, and the name of the show is Sloppy Goat's Bakery?
There is no bakery whatsoever still called Sloppy
Not for
Goat's
6 seasons, maybe in the 7th.
Yeah, maybe.
Right. Gotta go.
Maybe the
They're
angels
working
and the
out
devils
there.
get together and open up a baking shop. I don't know.
And that's our team force of good. Now, team force of evil is going to be a little more chaotic, if you can believe that. Gabe, for team force of evil, a professional wrestling commentator describing the climactic match at WrestleMania.
All right, wrestling fans, I'm happy to see you out here. We are going to get into a wild circumstance. If you are ready for that right now, in the spandex with a big old tail, we have Forest Elf 86, who is about to do the bowstring off the edge. But no, you are not ready for what's coming next. We see a child of the woods, of the Book of Dread, a student of Grimm is coming down off the rafters and bringing down with I think I'm nuts. Something is wrong. Something is up. Do you hear that glub? Do you hear that water sound? That is the man eater. the toe biter. It is the trauma from the Bahamas. That is drama piranha coming out to bring the pain in a way that you would never see. And do not close your eyes during the parade, because I think we have coming now Gore been played. And just so you know, we are not done, because we are always down to clown in WrestleMania town. It is not Dwayne The Rock Johnson. It is J-Rock who is coming out to bring it in a way that we have never seen before. And I gotta tell you, that's wild, man.
Gabe, that was incredibly impressive.
Hold on. I'm gonna need. Look. I've got references, and they're needed.
We need references.
I need references for more children's shows so I can learn life lessons.
Oh my God. And that's our amazing Patreon high-level big patrons. Thank you so much. Mwah. We love you all. Be on the lookout. We're going to have some fun on Cool Down, and we've got some more cast secrets coming this weekend. And yeah, more Fortune and Fate coming. There's a lot to unpack. Okay.
It's going to get worse. I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
I fully believe you.
Gabe, I gotta say, you're probably the most tongue-in-cheek and actual threatening DM that I've ever played with, and I'm here for it.
So, but before we go, just because it's fun,
please.
How do you think Onsev is pronounced backwards?
Vecna.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
Oh, the whispered one? Oh, that.
Oh, no.
Oh, I certainly put that together, but I didn't want to ruin it for anybody.
Evil god.
I want them all to think about it.
Yeah. If you have the DMG or you like D&D Beyond, go ahead and look up the Hand and Eye of Vecna. Have a great day.
Bye. Fall down the rabbit hole.
Gabe, true story, my favorite artifacts in the whole book.
Not metagaming at all. I'm pretty sure we ended the session with saying we need to talk to that guy.
Uh-huh. We sure did.
Y'all just asked to make a meeting with Vecna. So I'm going to have a great time writing this.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. That's going to be great.
Coffee with Vecna. Come back for episode 2 of Fortune and Fate.
Our new podcast launching in September.
My dinner
Coffee with Vecna.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we've been the Dungeon Run. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Gabe. Thank you, Kelly.
Gabe.
Thank you, Persephone. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you, Morgan.
Thank you, viewers.
I have to be here.
I'm contractually obligated.
But as we always say, thank you so much, and humankind.
Be both.
Be both.
It started. It started. It started. Started. As a simple dungeon run. As a simple dungeon run.